to August, maybe even the first of the two-a-days, where would you say this team as an aggregate, as a whole, has made its biggest improvement?
Oh, 100% on the defense. We knew going into the year that it was replacing 8 starters. Only having 3 returning starters coming back, it was going to be tough. To replace them with underclassmen and not upperclassmen that have been there and had a little bit of that playing time. So we knew it was going to be a struggle getting the defense up to our expectations. And, occasionally here and there, they still give up a big play, but, it's hard to use the youth card as an excuse anymore because you're 10 games into the season now. So 100% the defensive side of the ball.
I'm going to rewind just a little bit more, going back to midseason. September 19th, you drop a 21-point decision to this same Fairview team, 49-28. The game was closer than the score would have indicated. A handful of plays, as you and I were talking about, really made the difference in that contest. How much of that scout from that night goes into this week?
The playoffs are a special time of the year. Our conference, every week you can say it's a rivalry game with everybody playing each other. So going in, getting a second shot at Fairview. We know firsthand, 07, 09, we played Fairview in the regular season, then again in the playoffs. 13, 14, I think we did it with Wayne Trace. So you always can go back to that first game and look at things that you did wrong, things that you did right, and take away from it. See what they did good, see what they did bad. You use it in your game plan. Week 11 football, like I told you, nobody's reinventing the wheel. You are who you are as a team. You have wrinkles. Every coach has wrinkles in their arsenal. You're going to implement those, but a lot comes from that first game. William Z. Dyke is a tremendous quarterback.
What's the key to beating him? Because he's not just the straw that stirs the drink, he's the distributor. So do you beat him on the front end? Can you heat him up? Is the key on the back end and taking away maybe even just one favorite receiver? How do you, I don't even want to say contain, but at least slow down that offense?
I think you have to use deception.
How so?
You got to change up your coverages. You got to change up what your front looks like. You got to bring people on exotic style blitzes and stunts. If you just stand there, he's going to pick you apart. If you rush him and don't keep contain, he is a tremendous athlete. He's going to beat you with his feet. His receivers, Olinger, Huffman, they do such a good job of when they get downfield, they run their route. If they see him scrambling, they just go to find grass. That's the backyard football aspect of it. They do a tremendous job in their scramble drill. So it's a tall order asking your DBs to cover a guy for 6, 7, 8 seconds. So you've got to switch it up. You got to throw some zone in with some man. You can change it from side to side of the field, but you got to disguise it. That way you kind of get him thinking it's going to be one way, and then once the play starts, being something different.
Look, they say the best defense is a good offense. You scored 28 points against this team. Matter of fact, third most this season across the board, conference or non-conference. Offensively, what do you need to do to be successful tonight?
I think we obviously need to get the run game going. Cooper Rapogel had a phenomenal game against them last time, and Coach Rakes has talked about that. Do I think we'll be able to run the ball against them like that? I don't think so. I think they know what is coming there. We have to be more effective in the air, limit the turnovers. I think Owen only threw for under 150 yards in the last meeting, right about there. He had a rough point ago up to the season there. I think he's really gained some confidence in the back end of the year. He's got a little bit more faith in more of the receivers outside of Josh and Dylan and Owen, distributing the ball around, making a little bit better decisions. So, This will be, I think, game 18 for him starting and just as a junior. So he's played a lot of football, and a lot's going to rest on that right arm.
One last one, and it's got nothing to do with X's and O's. You and I have talked about this before, especially when you're dealing with 16, 17-year-olds, 18-year-old young men, but still a lot of pup in them, as my grandpa used to say, from the neck up. You and I were somewhat joking. I had a chance to do an interview, and I'm not one to name drop, but I had a chance to chat with former Bills coach, the legendary Marv Levy, once, and he was taking some flack at a press conference before their Super Bowl, and he looked at the reporter who was kind of twisting the knife a little bit, and he goes, "I only know one way not to win a Super Bowl, and that's don't play for one." Okay, you got in the last week, you're the 12th seed, but you've earned the right. Do you want to see your guys just take the field, for lack of a better term, with just a chip on their shoulder?
Yeah, and that's, I kind of feel like Fairview's got all the pressure on them at this point in time. The kids are loose, they're relaxed. This is probably one of the best weeks of practice we have had all year. The best thing is all the records are reset to 0-0 from this point forward. Somebody's got to be 5-0 or 6-0 to continue playing and win that state title. So why not us?
Why not them? We're going to find out. Things are going to heat up here on the field in just a few minutes. Coach Becker, we appreciate you joining us. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick time out. We are back with more of the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show right after this. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
Welcome back. DCTV Sports continues as our Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show is on the air. It is the first round of the playoffs. What in the heck is that behind us? We haven't seen that big yellow orb called the sun in about the past 48 hours. The heat, the humidity, the 2 days of August are long since gone. You ever notice how the important games are played in the cold?
That's right. We call it playoff weather.
Exactly. November has arrived, and the first round of the playoffs are here. Fairview at 9-1. Literally steamrolling opponents. They draw the number 5 seed in their bracket. And guess what? A GMC rematch as the Tinora Rams will come calling. We're being joined by Coach Rakes right now. Coach, I guess first things first, congratulations on a great season. What was your message to your guys? I know that they say the days are long, but the seasons are short. Does it seem like August was a million years ago, or has the season played out the way you expected?
It really goes both ways. There are times where you look back and August seems like a long time ago, but once the season hits, it seemed like, we blinked and we're at the end of the season. It seems like it was just now we were getting ready for Wasion and that we were talking to them pregame and doing the pregame speech, and now here we are, week 11.
Now, I'm looking down at your schedule here. You enter this one on a 5-game win streak. Your only loss this season against GMC rival Paulding, but you aren't just winning, you're winning handily. I'm looking down here, only 3 games all season, tighter than 3 touchdowns. You and I were somewhat jokingly talking about this before we started the interview here. When you are steamrolling your opponents, the question maybe isn't necessarily the physical or the playbook, but it's the mental. Here's where you really earn your paycheck, the psychology of coaching. How did you keep your team locked in and focused each week?
Well, these guys have high aspirations, and they have, we set our goals in the summer, and, we failed to reach our number 1 goal, which was winning the conference, and then they had an undefeated season. So those 2 are down the drain, so you got to kind of refocus. After the Paulding game, there had to be a refocus, and, the next thing was winning out and maybe having a chance if someone could knock Paulding off to win a share of that GMC title, but then obviously, taking it week by week to put ourselves in position to reach week 11. And, thankfully the kids have bought into that, and we've had some of our best practices these last 3-4 weeks.
So with that said, I'll just ask you flat out, where has this team made its most improvement from week 1 to now?
Well, I think defensively we've come a long way, even though the stats might not show that from, per se, a score standpoint. We were up big in a lot of those games and had some young guys getting some experience, and, some of those scores came there. But, this is a new defense for us this year. We're traditionally, or we have been the last 10, 12 years, a 3-4 defense, and we've transitioned this year into a 4-2. And, there's some differences in techniques and some differences in philosophy there. And I think that especially up front on the D line, we've really become comfortable with what we're asked to do, what the kids are asked to do, and you see them, performing those assignments and those techniques a lot better than what they were.
You beat me to it because your offense has basically Atari. I just dated myself. Nintendo, maybe a little bit closer. Basically, video game type numbers. And I wanted to ask you, does the defense get the respect that it deserves? I'm looking at your defensive lines numbers. They aren't just soaking up blockers and keeping the linebackers free to leverage. Your D line is in the backfield, tackles for losses, hurries, obviously sacks. When you play with that nickel or that extra defensive back, what's your philosophy there? Is he a rover or is he a glorified linebacker that can basically make the read and be what he needs to be on any given snap?
He's a hybrid for us. So he's a guy that last year, or actually 2 years ago, he was a corner for us. He started as a freshman at corner for us, Brody Williams. And we thought that transitioning to this and talking to some coaches in the offseason that run this defense, that, he would be the perfect guy to be that nickel that can come up into the line of scrimmage and set the edge if we need him to, but also be able to cover like a corner in certain situations and like a linebacker in certain situations. So, that's kind of what we ask of him. We ask a lot of that position.
He's got to be a special athlete.
He does, and he's a heady player. So he's done a very good job with that so far this season.
All right, let's review before we preview. You okay with that?
Sure.
Going back, hard to believe, about 6 weeks ago at Tinora, you win by 3 touchdowns. Now, again, Coach Becker will say a couple of big plays, and it might be a different game. At the same time, 2 different teams a month and a half later. Are you the same team? Are they the same team? I guess the question is, how much of that game went into this week's scout?
Well, I think you always got to look at it. I mean, just from a schematic standpoint, and schematically, they're still doing a lot of the same things, and so are we. Now
Not reinventing the wheel.
No, I don't think either one of us are looking to do that. Although, they've shown a few different looks against Paulding that we may see that is kind of outside of what they normally do, and we have a few wrinkles as well. So I think aside from those few wrinkles that maybe each team has, both offensively and defensively, it's going to come down to execution at the end of the day and not necessarily the X's and O's.
Speaking of X's and O's, you aren't just a passing team. There's the old phrase, okay, we run to set up the pass, or we pass to set up the run. Coach Becker jokes, you pass to set up another pass. But part of what has been impressive this season is your timing. I remember when Joe Tiller was the coach at Purdue, not to date myself, but he referred to that spread that's now very common at virtually all levels as basketball on grass. How long did it take your team, your offense, to develop the chemistry that it has now?
Well, this is, for these guys, the 3rd year in the offense. And, I think to get to where we are now, the simple answer is it's taken those 3 years to get here. We were doing some good things last year, and really even towards the end of year 1 when I came back in 2023, we were doing some really good things offensively, just not polished. And then last year we were, I guess, a little more polished, doing some better things and starting to grasp some of the concepts. But I think this year, they've put the work in the summer, and they're more comfortable with what we're asking them to do. And to be quite honest, a lot of those guys have been playing for 3 or 4 years, and a number of them for 3 years in the system. So, it comes with the territory, when we start to graduate those guys, and they got to learn it all over again. So, it just kind of comes with the territory of, I think, being 3 years in the program.
One last one here for you. And again, this is just about attitude. We can talk about getting deep into the playbook. Look, sophomores aren't sophomores at this point in time of the year.
Right.
They're juniors. Seniors, you're not graduating them just yet.
Right.
But you get what I'm saying here. And Coach Becker has made the point. They got in, last team, but they've earned the right. And he's just flat out said it. He goes, I want my guys to take the field with a chip on their shoulder. You know what to expect. They're going to come out swinging. You are playing for the right to wear the uniform one more week without making the message too big or the moment too big. What has been your message to your team this week?
Well, it's a golden opportunity for these guys. Tenora's a rival of ours, and you don't get that opportunity to play a rival twice, especially on a grand stage of the playoffs. And that's what we're selling them on. Those guys were very familiar with one another. The coaching staffs are familiar, and the players very familiar, especially in this day and age with social media and things like that. I mean, these guys know each other inside and out. So, it's going to be a very physical game, and I think, our guys relish that opportunity.
Nothing left but to tee this one up and get after it, right?
That's right.
Whistle's about to sound, Coach. We appreciate your time. Congratulations on a great season. Good luck tonight.
All right, thanks for having me.
Coach Rick's joining us on the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show. We're going to take a quick timeout. Back with Scoop's keys to the games and the starting lineups. Don't you go anywhere. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
WestBanco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused WestBanco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
Stanball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stanball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948.
Back at Fairview High School, the Estill Chevrolet Cadillac pregame show continues. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller. As you can see the Fairview band on the field. You heard the cowbells as the Apaches taking the field as they will be hosting GMC rival, the Tinora Rams. However, the rematch tonight is all or nothing. Basically, you're playing for the right to wear the uniform one more week. The Apaches entering tonight as the number 5 seed in the district. The Rams needed a 36-30 win over Edgerton in basically the final week of the regular season. But as you heard Coach Becker mention, we're here, and we're going to play with a chip on our shoulder. Why not us? Let's go ahead and take a look at your keys to the game tonight, brought to you by Northwest State Community College. The key to a great education starts with Northwest State Community College. First, for the visitors and the Tinora Rams. Scoop, what do they need to do to walk out of here a victory?
Well, I think for the Rams, they're going to have to really limit that big play that Fairview is so good at this season. They have the ability with so many speedy receivers to get the deep ball at any time. And I think the biggest key, Brent, is going to be you've got to contain Will Zedike. A lot easier said than done. They're going to have to really create a lot of pressure on Zedike, but he's a guy that can hurt you with his legs as well. So don't be surprised if the Rams maybe have a spy on Zedike and not allow him to take off downfield with the football. I think the third key tonight for the Rams, they've got to win that turnover chain. Coming in tonight's matchup, Fairview's been awfully good. Turnover margin plus 10 on the season. Meanwhile, the Rams minus 6. So if they want to pull the upset tonight and move on to Paulding next week, they're going to have to win the turnover chain as well.
On the flip side, for the Apaches, they've been steamrolling opponents. As we mentioned, only 3 games all season that have been less than 21 points. At the same time, it's a brand new season. What do the Apaches need to do to advance?
Well, they're going to have to get a lot of pressure on Owen Farrell. He's a gunslinger back there. He's a guy that's got a great arm back there. He's got a cannon for an arm. He also has some very athletic receivers, so they're going to have to put some pressure on him, force to run the football. Farrell minus 90 yards on the season, 46 attempts. So he's not a guy that's going to beat you with his legs. I think the second key tonight for the Apaches, they've got to find a way to get off the field on third down. And Tenora's 5 wins this season, Brent. They're converting over 50% of the third down scenarios. So I think that's going to go a long ways if Apaches want to get the first round win tonight. And I think the last thing, special teams impact, I think, for the Apaches. They have to create field position, maybe get that big return, create some field position for themselves, but they also want to try to force Tinora into a long field. If they can get done in these 3 areas, they'll set themselves up for a showdown next week.
Those are your keys to the game, brought to you by Northwest State Community College. Let's take a look at your starting lineups, brought to you by Baker Schindler Company. The best services, the best contracts, and again, best quality. You are talking about for over a century. Baker Schindler Company. Fairview won the
coin toss and elected to defer. So the Rams will start on offense first. There you take a look at Owen Farrell, the 5'10", 150-pound junior. We'll break down his stats. Connor Replogle had a monster game in the first meeting in the regular season between these two teams. Has battled back from injury, but he will be in the starting lineup tonight. You've got Dylan Shoffley and Owen Reynolds at the wideouts. Josh Lieb is your tight end, and then the road graders up front and Bum, Sattler, Bailey, White, and Hancock. Getting ready to tee this one up. And for the Apaches defensively, and they have been tough this season. They have allowed opponents just 136 rushing yards per game. They have allowed opponents only 142 passing yards per game. Combine those two, and opponents are averaging less than 300 total yards of offense this season. As this one teed up, the kickoff coming off the leg of Landrick Vandermeed. Back deep, trying to get behind the wedge and out to the 20-yard line, and not much more going on for Grady Stark, and that is where the Rams will set up their first offensive series of the ball game.
Well, there you go. We talked about a special teams impact. We're seeing it early here by the Apaches. They pin the Rams down about their own 20-yard line. We'll call it the 21, where the Rams are going to be looking at a long field here as they'll start things out under center.
Now, again, a unique defense here for Fairview. They're going to pinch the ends, but they've got, we'll wait and see how they elect to run the middle. Right now it looks like three linebackers as faking the handoff, dropping back, and Tenora's going to air it out deep to open up the ball game. On a skinny post, Owen Reynolds was the intended receiver, but the ball sails about 5 yards over his head for an incomplete pass.
Yeah, that time tremendous coverage there by Fairview, who did not bite on the play-action fake, as Reynolds that time was covered stride for stride as Farrell tries to go a vertical route early here, looking at 2nd and 10.
Well, Tinora averaged roughly 296 yards of offense over 10 games during the regular season, but they did most of it through the air at about 213 yards per contest, only 83 rushing, and you can see right there it's tough sledding when there's no snow, and I'm not sure he gained a yard on that play.
Well, that time just no penetration by that Tinora offensive line and just no place to go. And how about this Fairview defense coming to play right now? They've got a golden opportunity to hit one of those keys we talked about, finding a way to get off the field on 3rd down here. 3rd and 9 coming up here for the Rams.
They're going to give Replogle a very short one. So it's 3rd and 9 from the 22. Trips to the near side, twins to the far side. It is an empty backfield, and Fairview's coming. They're bringing the blitz. Tinora picks it up. He's going to roll out and fire underneath. That is complete. That is going to be Garrett Sheets, and he fumbled the football. It's picked up and into the end zone. We've got a flag down, so they're celebrating right now, but Logan Olinger thinks he's just scored the first touchdown of the ball game.
I think that's going to be a late hit coming up on the Apaches.
We'll wait and see as the dust settles on this one. It was complete, but then a fumble. Olinger scooped it up and went in.
That time, credit that Tinora offensive line. They picked up the blitz, I thought, very well. Gave Farrell a chance to throw the ball. He had to go to his safety valve there, who picked up 4 or 5 yards before the hit and the fumble. But they are going to call roughing the passer.
First penalty of the game, and that is a huge break for Tinora. A 15-yarder and take the defensive touchdown off the board. So that will make it 1st and 10. And let's see where they spot it here. We'll call it the 36-yard line. So this will end up being the 4th play of the drive, continuing due to the penalty. I didn't see the umpire come out. Replogle gets the call off the left side, and nothing doing.
Yeah, that time Replogle stood up in the backfield, and he's probably going to be a little bit shy of the original line of scrimmage, so credit that defensive front of the Apaches one more time. They're doing a great job getting off the ball. They will spot it a yard behind the chains there. So 2nd 11 coming up here for the Rams.
This will be the 2nd play of this set of downs. We'll call it officially 11. Farrell again out of the pistol. Replogle offset to his left behind him. Fakes the handoff, looking to his left, now rolling out to his right. He's only got one man in the pattern, and he's going to just throw this one away.
Yeah, tremendous job once again by that Fairview defense. That's exactly what you need to do to a guy like Owen Farrell, who really has a strong arm, but not really known for running the football. So if you can flush him out of the pocket, make him start going east and west, I think you're going to really give your defense a formal chance. And that time, Farrell just had to ground that football out of bounds. Going to bring up a 3rd down and 11. Tinora trying to convert on another big 3rd down here.
Nose of the football is not quite to the 36, so officially they'll call it the 35. He'll have to get out to about the 46, 47-yard line. Empty backfield. Pocket stays clean. Owens rolling out. Double clutches, and nobody open as he's going to be dropped.
Well, that time, that's just a coverage sack. That time they sent 5 guys out on routes, but just no one to throw to. Farrell tried to get to the edge, but again, we talked about it. He had minus 90 yards on the season coming in. He's going to lose about 5 more right there. Great job by the Apaches. After giving up that 1st down via the penalty, they're going to force the Rams to punt it away.
So the penalty takes the defensive touchdown off the board. It extended the drive, but only for 3 plays. As on to punt, this should be Parker Hancock. And standing deep for Fairview, trying to get the young man's number to focus in my binoculars here. I think that's number 3. Hancock waiting for the official's whistle. So we are ready to go. As this is a low line drive punt, it will bounce at the 40. Fielded on a hop, and this is Logan Olinger. He turns to the near corner, and he's off to the races. There is a flag down. He's got one man to beat, and caught from behind at the 10-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle by Connor Replogle, but a flag being thrown back at the 46-yard line. And, Scoop, I think this one is coming back.
Yeah, I think it is too, but what a tremendous return that time by Logan Olinger. That time he just picked it up and immediately went north, was able to split the defense, and once he got to the edge, he had a chance to go to the house, if not for that tremendous touchdown-saving tackle by Cooper Replogle. But we did have a penalty about the 46-yard line, a hold. And that'll take the ball all the way back into Apache territory. So that's the 2nd touchdown of the night negated for Fairview.
This is going to back them up. Instead of the Tinora 10, make it the Fairview 44-yard line. Still good field position for their first offensive series. William Zedike, the conference player of the year, and a grass snake must have popped up in between the hash marks and tripped him up. 12 men on the field defensively for Tinora, and you don't see that very often. My guess is we'll never see it again.
No, he's not an easy guy to bring down, but that time he went down unassisted from any of the Tinora Rams defense. They'll take it. That'll be a loss of 2 here to start things out for the Apaches.
Ball back at their own 42. Empty backfield, trips to the near side, twins to the far side. It's a design quarterback draw, and he's up the gut, in between the hash marks, out past the 50 to the 49-yard line.
Well, that's the thing Will Zedike can do. That time design quarterback draw. He picks up 10, so after losing 2 on 1st down, makes it a very manageable 3rd and 2. That takes the ball into Ram territory at the Tinora 48-yard line.
And again, quickly up to the line of scrimmage. They've got their jumbo package in, and they're just going to run 3 blockers right in front of him. Oh, man, did he get bent backwards as he hit the 45-yard line, trying to get a number of the young man that met him high. That was number 66. That was Brock Bailey. That was a very painful 2 yards, but it is enough to move the chains.
Yeah, it is enough to move the chains. First down tonight for the Apaches.
And they aren't slowing down. 1st and 10. Zedek, clean pocket, slings it to the near side. It is complete. He's got his intended receiver, and that is going to be
I think that was Gavin Mead.
Gavin Mead.
And for Mead, that's his 47th reception of the season. Right on average there. He's averaging just under 14 yards per reception. Another Apache first down, and Fairview is on the move here in their initial drive of the night.
Zedek looking right, tucks it away. It's a designed draw. Run out of bounds on the near side, inside the 30, and it looks like he's down to about the 28-yard line.
Nice looking play again by the Apaches. You know, they're really doing a nice job of securing some blocks. And again, this is certainly by design, seeing a guy like Zedek taking off there from the quarterback position. Pick up a 5 there on first down for the Apaches.
Makes it 2nd and 5 from the 28-yard line. They're going to go with the spread in the empty backfield. Twins near side, trips to the far side. Zedek barking out the signals. 1-step drop, slings it to the near sideline, and Mead makes the first man miss. Carries a couple with him. All kinds of laundry being thrown inside the 15, and was that a fumble? Tinora thinks they're on it, but we'll wait and see as we've still got another penalty. It's a fumble. Tenora's got it, and it looks like the penalty is against Fairview, so the play will stand. I stand corrected. That was a marker instead of a penalty. Could you tell who fell on the football?
Could not tell who fell on the football, but what a play. You know, that time they got inside the 10-yard line, so it looked like the Rams were just trying to strip the football. And they came up big there, the first turnover of the night.
From their own 9, deep in their own territory, Replogle gets the call, lowers the shoulder, and just takes a couple black jerseys with him as he crosses the 10, out to the 11 for a gain of 2.
Well, I really like what this Apache defense is doing down there in the trenches. It's going to be so important. When you got a guy like Farrell who has the ability to throw the deep ball, you want to try to have 5-6 guys back in coverage. To do that, you've got to have a stout line, and we've seen it so far. Just a gain of 2 there by the Rams on first down.
2nd, we'll call it a long 8. Again, out of the pistol, Farrell barking out the signals. 2-step drop, and this is just a quick hitch. It is complete just past the 15. We'll call it the 16. Looks like Reynolds hauls that in. And that was just designed to give him a little bit more breathing room.
Yeah, just a quick curl there to the outside, and they're able to pick up maybe 5 yards on that play. It's going to set up a 3rd down and 3. And again, they're inside their own 20-yard line, so not 4-down territory. Let's see what the Rams come up with. They got trips to the near side, Twins to the top side.
See if Fairview dials anything up. Tinora picks it up. This one slung underneath, and it is caught just past the 20-yard line to the 21, and that'll be a first down for the Rams.
Great job that time by the Rams. They knew exactly where the chains were at. Little comeback route that time. We're able to get just enough to get the first down. The 2nd, 3rd down conversion of this opening quarter for the Rams.
Clock continues to tick. 6.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Replogle gets the call straight up the gut. He makes the first man miss, finds the 2nd level, and tries to backpedal his way out close to the 25-yard line. He'll be short by about a yard.
Yeah, they would love to see Replogle get untracked here tonight. He's a guy that has the ability to kind of move the pile. At that time, boy, he had to earn those yards, but he picked up a tough 3 yards there into a tough Fairview line that's been awfully aggressive, getting some good penetration here early on.
2nd down, ball just shy of the 25-yard line. Straight drop, pump fake. Farrell being flushed out. Tries to head up the far sideline, and he's hit hard, and I'm not sure. He might be lucky to have gotten back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and again, that's just not his game. You know, he's not a guy that's going to really hurt with his legs, and that time tried to get to the outside, then try to cut it back, but that time, boy, he was hit. There were no yak yards to be had.
Owen Farrell this season coming into tonight, 46 carries for minus 90 yards, an average of minus 9 yards per carry. He has done it with his arm this season. He's thrown for 21, basically 2,128 yards. He's been averaging 213 yards per game. 22 touchdowns to his credit against just 12 interceptions, but he's going to need a slew of yards here to move the chains as he rolls out, fires off his back foot. He's got a man. Oh, and in and out of the fingertips. Was that Dylan Shoffley, number 13? And it was just a bit behind him. He had him on a crossing route. He might still be running if he hit him in stride, but instead it's incomplete and it's 4th down.
Yeah, that's a break for the Apaches because that time he was wide open there on a crossing route, as you mentioned, Brent, and he had a lot of yards after the catch ahead of him. But the fact he had to go back to get the football caused him to drop that. The Rams will have to punt it away.
This should be Hancock back to punt. Olinger. Well, this is a beauty, tight spiral. It will bounce in front of him, and it actually hit one of the gunners. I think that ball is dead. Well, they're not whistling it, and it takes a Tinora bounce out of bounds all the way to the 40-yard line. So interesting there. It looked like it had actually hit Ian Gutweiler, and he stopped. I'm not sure if that was just sleight of hand up here or if nobody on the field saw it.
Right now the officials are talking about it. I think they're going to get it right. I think it certainly did hit off his foot there, and by rule you get it at its furthest
they're going to bring it
point
up
of
5
touch.
yards.
So that is the right call. Great to see these officials get together. And they will start out, instead of starting out at their own 40, they'll start out their own 45.
Well, they made great strides in their first drive, but it ended in a fumble inside the Tinora 10. So we'll see what they can do on their second offensive series. Still no score, first quarter. Zedike slings it to the near boundary. That was a long throw, and did Olinger stay in bounds? Oh, that's going to be a flag. That is a late hit, very late into the bench, and just a mental mistake that time by Douglas Hatmeyer, and it was a good gain, almost 10 yards, but this one's going to tack it on. It's going to be huge.
Yeah, that time Hatmeyer just lost where he was, and credit to Olinger. He could have easily went down after the initial hit, and that would have ended it. But he tried to fight for a few extra yak yards, and not only did he get a few extra yak yards, he's going to get 15 yards tacked onto it. So huge penalty there against the Rams, their first of the night. That takes the ball all the way to the Tinora 32-yard line.
So we'll see what they can do in their second offensive series. Coming up on 4.5 minutes left to go. Inside the near hash mark and inside the 25 down to the 22.
This is the Fairview offense we've seen all season long. They like to go in tempo here, try to put a lot of pressure in the defense. They've got so many different ways they can hurt you. Right now they got the entire playbook open as they pick up another first down.
We'll call it from the 22. Zedike barking out the signals with an empty backfield. Pocket stays clean. Tenora's only rushing 2. He's going to sling this to the near corner. He's got Owen there. Oh, what a tremendous catch in the back of the end zone. Touchdown, Apaches.
Great job that time by Fairview. They wasted little time, but to credit that line, they gave Zedike all the time in the world, and that's a no-no. You have to get pressure on him because he can pick you apart. He'll check off different receivers, and that time Logan Olinger is able to haul it in. His 23rd TD of the season, his 14th TD reception, and that puts the Apaches on top early.
So here's Vandermeid on to attempt the extra point. Big burly young man at 6'5", 220, wearing a lineman's number as the snap is down. The kick is up, and it is through the uprights and at the 4:10 mark. In the first quarter, Fairview draws first blood, capped off by a 22-yard strike. Zedike to Olinger in the back of the end zone. And that is our first touchdown of the ball game, brought to you by Westbanco. We're going to take a quick timeout. We'll see how Tinora answers. You're watching DCTV Sports.
At Arthur Law Firm, we understand how overwhelming life can be after being seriously injured in a car accident. With over 50 years of experience, Arthur Law Firm has a track record of getting the results you deserve. When you don't know where to turn, get answers with Arthur. Call us today.
Superior Credit Union, a not-for-profit, member-owned financial cooperative. Visit SuperiorCU.com to find out more about joining the winning team at Superior Credit Union.
back at Fairview. A 3-play drive that started at their own 45, got a huge help after a 15-yard unsportsmanlike penalty, capped off by a 22-yard strike. Zedek to Olinger in the back of the end zone. The point after good. And as we sit at 4:10 in the first quarter, it is the Apaches 7, the Rams nothing. Vandermeer, high end over end kick. Picked up at about the 5-yard line. I believe this is Shockley. Trying to work his way past the 20 and not quite to the 25, but it looks like they'll spot him at the 24. So decent field position for the Rams for their third offensive series of the first half, but now trailing by 7.
Yeah, right now the Rams have looked at a long field in all 3 possessions. The first possession, they started out at their own 21. Their second possession, they started out at their own 9. This is the best position they had, but still looking at a long field, starting out just inside their own 24-yard line.
Well, they've basically shared. Actually, I can't say they shared because the one fumble recovered by the Apaches was negated by the penalty. So Tinora is +1 in that category, or it could very well be 14-0, Scoop.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That penalty took 7 points off the board for the Apaches. Now the Rams are looking for an answer.
Vogel gets the call, and he's just going to try and run top in between the tackles. And do we have a late flag being thrown here?
No, that was
it's a fumble. And Fairview says they're on it, and it looks like they're going to be given possession of the ball. That is an orange flag, not a yellow flag. It's a ball marker, but right now it looks like Fairview is arguing they've just recovered a fumble.
Well, the flag happened on the snap, so it was either an illegal shift or it was defensive encroachment. We'll see what they sort out.
A sideline warning, and Fairview will take possession of the football. Oh, my goodness.
Well, now those turnovers have evened out, and opportunistic here for the Apaches. They're going to start this drive on the Ram, 26-yard line. So golden opportunity here for the Apaches to get some separation early in this one.
Boy, they couldn't afford one, but especially that deep in their own territory, and that high-octane Apache offense is back on the field in the blink of an eye.
Remember, they just went 55 yards in 3 plays, so they are loaded for bear here tonight.
Well, they were running Olinger as an offset back, and now they're going to split out and spread out. This is going to be the jet sweep, trying to turn the left corner, and decent run that time with a little bit of blocking in front of him, as that is an extra back. That is Shady Fritch getting a rare carry and getting some production inside the 20 down to, we'll call it the 17-yard line.
Yeah, fantastic execution on the jet sweep. The timing was there. And other than a touchdown-saving tackle, big-looking play there, picks up 9 yards there on first down.
Brody Williams wide to the right. They're going to empty out the backfield. Grinnell Dennis, their running back, is there too as they fake the screen, and this is going to be a design draw. And look at this. Zedek, nifty running, walking the tightrope as he runs out of bounds inside the 10 down to the 7-yard line.
Yeah, great job once again. No secret. They're going to try to find a way to get Will Zedek involved with his legs. That time, another quarterback to draw, the third one we've seen in this opening quarter. Picks up the first down, takes the ball all the way inside the Stanball Jewelers red zone. Yep. First and goal coming up here for the Apaches.
Zedek with 5 carries and 25 yards alone here in the first quarter. He's averaging 5 yards a haul. As this handoff is going to go to Grinnell Dennis in between the tackles. He's close as he dives forward, but he's going to be brought down at the 2.
Yeah, good-looking run by the senior, Drayden Grinnell Dennis. That time he was able to get that hole quickly. Tried to bowl his way into the end zone. Gets maybe just a yard or two shy here. Second goal coming up here for the Apaches. Tight splits.
Grinnell Dennis, and they're going to have Olinger in the Wildcat. It's a direct snap to him, and he has a wide open gap in between the tackle and guard on the right side as he walks untouched into the end zone. Touchdown, Apaches.
Now another impressive drive for the Apaches. They wasted very little time, and they finish it off with Olinger going the final 2 yards out of the Wildcat. And Ollinger, the GMC's leading scorer during the season, now has 24 touchdowns on the year, including 2 tonight. The Apaches trying to make it 14-0 here with the point after.
Vandermeer on to attempt the extra point. Zedike boy, he picked up a low snap, and nicely done as that one skimmed off the grass. He set it up perfectly for his kicker. And just like that, the Apaches have doubled up their lead at 14-0 with another West Banco touchdown. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll see how Tinora responds, now down by 2 scores with 2:38 left to go in the first quarter. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Discover top-quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top-quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
When a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag, let ServiceMaster Restore work for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhaul and rebuilding. Contact ServiceMaster by McCann.
Back at Fairview as Vandermeer puts a foot into it on the kickoff. 14-0 Fairview, but a tremendous return by Garrett Sheets out past the 35-yard line, out to the 39. Best field position to start any drive so far this evening for the Rams, and they need it down by 2 scores.
That's a big-time return by the freshman Garrett Sheets that time. He just caught that low-line drive. He took off right down the middle of the field. Takes it out to the 39-yard line.
Empty backfield. This is going to be a quick hitch up the far sideline. And a couple of tackles broken across the 45 and down to the 48-yard line.
Well, that's huge for the Rams. They have to find a way to start controlling first down. They've been behind the chains most of this opening quarter. Just 2 first downs here for Tinora. 1 via the penalty on the 3rd play of the ball game. So they've got to find a way to get this offense jump started here. Great job there picking up 9 on first down.
Plogel again back in the backfield. Owen Reynolds, the lone receiver to the far side. Replogel trying to turn the far corner, and they stretch him out. Great job to feather that out, and I believe I see Gavin Meeb there, and I also see Drayden Grinnell Dennis.
Yeah, tremendous job. Again, and credit that defensive front there for the Apaches. That was a play designed to really go over the B gap, and there's just nothing there. He tried to bounce it outside, get to the edge, but nothing doing. Tremendous play by the linebackers that time of the Apaches as well. Going to bring up a 3rd down and 1 now for the Rams.
Can you trust your big eaters up front to give you just enough for basically the length of the football right now?
Well, you've got it. I think you've almost got to treat this like 4-down territory.
They're going empty backfield. It's going to be a pass and getting pressure and all kinds of trouble, running for his life and dropped inside the 30 down to the 29-yard line.
Boy, that's a tough play, and Owen Farrell seems to be shook up here. The officials are going to stop the clock. That was a loss of 20 yards there on a 3rd down and 1. So forget about the 4-down territory. The Rams will have to punt this football away after a quick 3-and-out here by this Apache D.
Well, again, with an empty backfield, Fairview brought the house, and that's a situation where you've got to have a hot receiver pre-snap, Scoop. You know somebody's coming, but as a receiver, it's not just the quarterback's read. The receiver's got to see that same thing. If he's got to make an adjustment, maybe all of a sudden run a quick cross, but you got to do something to help your quarterback out.
Yeah, just a real mental breakdown, I thought, that time by the Rams. Thought they surprised me by going empty backfield, and we know that Farrell's not a guy that's going to try to take off and run like you will see from Will Zedike. So That time they were one-dimensional. Credit the Apache defense. Boy, they just immediately sent the entire kitchen sink because all the linebackers were coming. And Farrell just had no chance to dump the football.
Again, there were 2-3 black jerseys in that backfield. Again, Drayden Grinnell-Dennis was doing a lot of celebrating and a good sight. Owen Farrell up and walking off the field under his own power. But that will bring up 4th and a country mile, about 31 as they were dropped all the way back. Well, now let's see what they're going to spot.
Officially,
this.
that
Okay.
was a loss of 18 yards, so
They're spotting it at the 31. And boy, it could have been a lot worse.
yeah, so it'll be 4th and 18, but again, they're going to have to punt the football away, and Fairview should pick up excellent field position one more time here in this first quarter.
Olinger standing deep at his own 40. This is a good high spiraling kick and poised into it again. That hit a gunner. It went into a lot of congestion at the 40. It rolls inside the 35 down to the 32. And again, I'm looking at Fairview's sideline, and they think that ball maybe should be brought out a little bit.
Yeah, there's one official on the far side, Brent, that is coming up, so I think they are going to move it up here. That, once again, very similar to the last punt we saw the Rams hit one of those gunners. And they're going to spot it right between the 37, 38-yard line of the Apache. So pretty good start position for Fairview one more time.
31 ticks left to go in the first quarter. It has been a quick-moving first 12 minutes with the exception of a few penalties. I can tell you that Service Master Restore is getting their money's worth tonight as Zedike pump fakes, looks left. Now he's going to down the far sideline. He's got a man just off the fingertips of his intended receiver. That was Brody Williams, number 22, and just past his outstretched fingertips.
Yeah, that was a vertical shot there in first down, and it looked like he had just enough room to make that catch, but again, just maybe a foot overthrown. I like the Apaches putting a lot of pressure in this secondary.
Second down, Zedike's going to take it on a design quarterback draw, gets a little help down the right side, and he tiptoes out of bounds. And let's see where the side judge spots him just shy of the 45 at the 44-yard line. Pick up about 6.
Right now, I think the Rams are just giving too much freedom to Zedike. You know, not only does he have the ability to beat you with his arms and legs, as we mentioned, but he also has such a high football IQ.
Yes.
He's going to take advantage of what's there. And right now, there's a lot of options open for the senior.
Zedike looking left. He's going to tuck it away and run immediately, and he gets a nice wall from his wide receivers as he slides just shy of midfield. And this is all about the spot as to whether or not the chains are going to move. He's very close, and the chain gang is being told to go forward another 10 yards.
That's going to be another first down there by Fairview. And that time, with the slide, you usually don't get that generous spot, but that time he's able to move the chains. So nice job here by the Apaches. They pick up their 7th first down here of the opening 12 minutes.
And that will be the final play of the first quarter as they will switch ends of the field. 14-0, 5th-seeded Apaches leading the 12th-seeded Rams. We'll have the second quarter when we come back. You're watching DCTV Sports.
When a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag, let Service Master Restore work for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhaul and rebuilding. Contact Service Master by McCann. Sherwood State Bank, your community bank with locations in Sherwood, Defiance, Fayette, and Archbold. Sherwood State Bank, your community bank since 1945. Online at sherwood.bank. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Back at Fairview, first play of the second quarter on 1st and 10 from their own 49-yard line. The 5th-seeded Apaches leading the 12th-seeded Tinora Rams 14-0. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller and the rest of our crew. Through the end of that first quarter, Scoop, this should tell you everything you need to know. Total yards for the Apaches, 123. For the Rams, 9. As Zedike rolling out, fires off his back foot, and on the money, complete to Brady Williams at the 40. Looks like they're going to give him the 39-yard line, and that's going to be enough to move the chains for another first down.
I tell you what, this offense is just really clicking. You mentioned some of those numbers in the first quarter. Brent, Fairview 4 for 5 through the airways with a TD, 62 yards, 11 rushes for 61 yards. And meanwhile, on the flip side, 9 carries for Tinora for a net minus 13 yards on the ground.
That's a pickup of 12 to move the chains. First down, Zedike dropping back. Pocket stays clean. They're stunning. He's going to air it out down the far sideline. He's got a man just overthrown. Boy, he has had all night to throw. He was going for Kellen Beals. That was a long throw to the far boundary, and he almost laid it in there.
Oh, nice looking wheel route. But once again, Brent, you mentioned it, just way too much time for a guy like Zedike because he has not only that strong arm, but he is spot on. You won't find a more accurate arm here in Northwest Ohio. And that time, they just missed picking up a big-time home run play.
Second down. Ball rests on the near hash mark. Zedike getting the signal from the Fairview sideline. He's got trips to the far side. He's going to fake the handoff. He'll take off through the B gap on the right side, and he meets a stiff resistance of a ton of white and green. Forward progress will be stopped. We'll call it the 37-yard line.
Yeah, that's one of the few times they've really kept Zedike in check. You know, he had 5 carries for 24 yards in that first quarter. That time picks up just a couple there. It's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8. But the way this Fairview offense has been clicking here, certainly 4-down territory for the Apaches.
This is interesting. They're going to run the backup running back Beals as the slot. It's an empty backfield. And they're only rushing 2. They're dropping everybody else. And he's got a man open on a seam route, and he overthrew Olinger. Olinger, I don't know how they missed him with 5 defensive backs only rushing 2. And, boy, did Tinora just dodge a huge bullet. Zedike putting his hands on his helmet. He had a chance at another 6.
Oh, my goodness. Olinger, he was in a world by himself out there. There was not a ramp anywhere to be found. Zedike could have ran the ball. He saw how wide open Olinger was, but somehow just put a little bit too much air underneath it. 4th down here.
They're going for it. Zedike drops back. He's going to float it to the far boundary. On the money as Olinger ran the route +3. And I'm looking at Tenora's defensive coaching staff on the far sideline. They are beside themselves. That was a great route, a great throw.
And they just make it look so easy. That's not an easy route at any level, certainly the high school level. But once again, you give Zedike a little time, but you have to account for Logan Olinger, the top receiver in the GMC for 2 seasons now.
1st and 10 from the 25. Whoops. And with the temperatures getting cooler here tonight, that turf may be just a little greasy. And you can see right there Gavin Meade trying to cut, but it gives way underneath him, his knee down at the 29.
Yeah, we've seen that a couple times already here tonight, and again, it has to do with that cold weather, a little bit dew down there on the turf, and that negates what could have been a pretty big play there for the Apaches. That puts them behind the chains here at 2nd and 12.
Loss of 4. Zedike dropping back, looking left. He's going to sling it to the far boundary, and again, just a nice out route, or did he hang on to it? Nope, incomplete. I think he was going for Olinger there, and he had it. Maybe a few words for a couple people on the Tinora sideline, but that will be an incomplete pass. Just his 3rd of the night, excuse me.
Yeah, they've had so much success through the airways, not just tonight, but certainly all season long. The numbers just have been incredible for Fairview. They're averaging 10 yards per pass attempt on the season through 10 games coming in.
3rd and 13. They're going to send Meade in motion. This will be reverse, and it's going to be a pass. Is there a man open? Blaring it out. It's all or nothing to Olinger, and the pass to his weak side shoulder. He had to turn around and couldn't quite haul that one in. Brody Williams showing off a pretty good arm, but it's incomplete.
Well, that time, pretty good coverage by the Rams. I thought they picked up on that little flea flicker reverse halfback pass. That time he had to throw into double coverage. Now that'll bring up a 4th down here for the Apaches.
And they're going to bring in, are they going to try a field goal? They are. This would be a
46-yarder.
Well, he's got a 41-yarder to his credit so far this season. It's the longest in school history. This looks like it might be closer to 47. Not much of a wind, if any. They're coming. Long kick. It's got enough, but it's going to hook wide left. Boy, he has a leg, but he sends it wide left, and the field goal no good as Tinora's defense holds at the 9:16 mark here in the second quarter.
Yeah, that was a huge stop there for the Rams. They really needed that. The only other times that Fairview's been denied tonight was that on that turnover by Fairview early in that first quarter. Other than that offense for the Apaches has been dynamite. Now the Rams will take over from their own 24-yard line. I'll make that 20-yard line.
It's going to be the 20. Down 14-0, trying to get something going here with 9:16 left to go in the first half. Farrell hands off. Replogle. Boy, keeping his level low and squirts through a couple of would-be tacklers out to the 25 for a healthy gain on first down.
Well, nice to see the Rams trying to get that running game established. Remember, they had minus 13 yards rushing in the opening 12 minutes, so they have to find a way to be multi-dimensional. That's a big pickup of 4 yards there on first down to stay ahead of the chains.
Replogle, 12 carries, 12 yards, Scoop. It's been a rough night for the ground game for the Rams. 2nd down and 5. It's certainly manageable, and Replogle's going to get the call again, this time off the left side. And this is just who wants it more as he lowers his shoulder, takes a couple of black and gold jerseys with him across the 25 to the 26, maybe the 27. This is going to be 3rd and very short.
That's an impressive run there by Replogle. Really, there's nothing there. He hit a couple of defenders there right at the line of scrimmage, but he kept the legs going, picks up 3 yards. And now a huge 3rd down coming up here for the Rams.
They need 3 to keep the drive alive. Farrell out of the pistol. 2-step drop, slings it on a quick hitch, and that is a heads-up play. He was hot before the snap of the football, and I believe that was Shoffley that makes the catch.
Oh, that's huge. Another first down that time by the Rams, something they've really struggled with tonight.
Out to the 34-yard line. Keeps the drive alive. It also keeps the clock moving. Now under 8 minutes left to go in the first half. Tight formation with just 2 wide receivers. Bogle gets the call right side. He makes the first man miss to the second level. Out past the 45. They're going to mark him at the 45, and that's enough for a first down on a gain of 11.
Good-looking run by Replogle once again, who for the first time tonight had a little bit of a seam to run through, and then he makes the guy miss. And back-to-back first downs here by the Rams. Takes the ball out to the 45-yard line.
That should take him up to 37 yards on the evening and a lot more breathing room on the best drive so far of the evening for Tinora. And they're going to stay with their their horse in the backfield, and this time everybody coming. There wasn't a gap that wasn't filled with a black and gold jersey.
Yeah, they really loaded up the box that time, knowing that Replogle was going to get the football. And credit Replogle, he still found a way to pick up a couple yards. But, boy, he had to earn every inch in that run. 2nd and 8 now as the ball still in Ram territory at the Tinora 47-yard line.
Clock continues to tick, coming up on 6.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Farrell and all kinds of laundry being thrown prior to the snap. We're going to have a false start.
Yeah, that's going to be the second service master penalty on the Rams tonight. But, again, it's going to put them behind the chains. That's just the one thing you can't afford. You've got a defense that's really dominated you here in this opening half, and then you shoot yourselves in the foot there with a false start there to make it 2nd down and 13.
Marching the wrong way. Back to their own 42. 6:20 and counting left to go in the first half. On that fake handoff, all kinds of trouble. The pocket collapses, and there's nowhere for Farrell to go but down. Dropped inside the 40, back at the 39-yard line. That'll be a loss of about 5.
Now, once again, we're seeing the Apaches really load up the box. That time they're able to send an extra backer there, and it pays off. Another negative play there for the Rams as this drive continues to go in reverse. Going to bring up a 3rd down and 17 here now for Tinora. And this is where you got to be careful because your playbook gets really narrow right now. You have a lot of speed in that secondary, the Apaches, who I believe have double-digit pickoffs this season, so you got to be careful here in 3rd and long.
Dropping back. Farrell getting pressure. He doesn't see it, and now he does. It's too late as he's dropped back at the 30-yard line. A loss of 9. Gavin Mead, and basically he was the first one to get to him, but there was a ton on the way, and the right side of that protection just broke down for Tinora.
Yeah, how about that Apache defense? After giving up back-to-back first downs, their first time on any drive tonight by the Rams, the last 3 plays go in reverse, and they result in a minus 13 yards, going to bring up 4th down and 23. And the Rams, once again here, forced to punt the football away.
This should be Hancock putting a foot into it. Olinger standing at his own 39-yard line. Snap is a bit high. The return is on. Tell you what, they're kicking away from him, and he will call for the fair catch. And this takes a huge Tinora bounce inside the 25 and down at about the 20-yard line. Wow, Parker Hancock just flipped the field.
Yeah, that's a big-time punt, and Smart trying to kick away from Olinger because Olinger, again, has got that breakaway speed. That time takes a Ram bounce, and by the time the ball comes to rest, the Apaches looking at the longest field they've seen tonight as they'll start out at their own 21-yard line.
4:34. You would call that serviceable time for most offenses. That is light years for this high-octane quick-strike Fairview squad.
Well, if you know this Fairview squad, they're not thinking 1 TD right now. They're thinking 2 more scores here in this opening half. That's how electric this offense can be.
Empty backfield. Trips far side. They're going to send a man in motion to the near side. That's going to be Grinnell Davis. Zedike with plenty of time slings it underneath. This is a page that I would have thought Tenora's offense might have taken a little bit more out of, Scoop. They are taking, they being Fairview, taking what Tenora's giving them, just 4 or 5 yards, quick hitch, quick out, and it buys you, basically, you win 1st and 2nd down that way.
And when you've got a 4-year quarterback you're dealing against, this is just really easy as it gets for a guy like Zedike, All-State
Setting
last
up
year.
the wide receiver screen. It is complete, but nice job leveraging the football as the first couple of men missed, but there wasn't a whole lot that Jonathan Hoffman could do there. That was just a simple jailbreak screen.
Yeah, it was. And, again, well executed, and, again, just take advantage of what's there. And if you're Tinora, you just can't afford to miss a tackle because these guys have that breakaway speed, so – very nice call again by the Apaches. They keep the chains moving.
1st and 10, design quarterback draw. Here comes Zedike. Ooh, he takes a nasty shot as he crosses the 35, falls forward to the 36.
Yeah, that time a pretty aggressive play there.
Pickup of
from
about
that
3.
Ram defense. You can limit Zedike to 3 or 4 yards. That's probably a win because he has that breakaway speed as well.
So 2nd down, we'll call it a long 6. Straight drop. Again, Tinora only rushing 3. He's going to air it out down the near sideline. He's got a man open. It's underthrown. Oh, my goodness. He had a wide open Shady Fritsch, and that ball didn't look like it came out of Zedike's hands very cleanly, or that's 6.
Yeah, that time his eyes lit up when he saw his man had a stride there on that right sideline, but again, just did not air it out quite enough. And a great defensive play there at the last minute to break that up.
Clock stops, 3rd and 6, 3:11 left to go in the first half. Tinora sending a delayed blitz. It's picked up. This one slung to the far boundary, and Olinger laid out. Did he make that catch? Tremendous grab from his knees across the 45 out to the 47-yard line.
That's just unbelievable. That type of play at the high school level, just unreal. A deep out route. He had to come back a little bit. He laid out to catch that first down pass, but what a good one it was. And that takes the ball out near midfield.
Pickup of 10. First down. Zedike. Again, Tinora only rushing 3. This one's a beauty. Oh, my goodness. Scoop, I can tell you this right now. They're up 14-0, but Zedike's body language right there says it all. They're just a little off tonight. This score, Tinora is really dodging bullet after bullet. It could easily be 28-0 right now.
Yeah, that time they just released a tight end just on a seam route right down the middle, and he went unpicked up. But, again, the timing was not there. Huge break there for the Rams.
2nd and 10 from the 47. 2:44 left to go. Again, only a two-man rush. Zedike directing traffic. Next cam bus is in 5 minutes. He's going to drop and take it off. Down the far sideline, puts on the brakes, makes a man miss. He's off to the races. He's got some green. Now reversing his field. In between the hash marks. High steps out of a tackle. Still on his feet. Down the near side. Inside the 15. Spins out of another tackle. Down to the 8-yard line.
Oh, my. What a run by Will Zedike. Tell you what, he had all the time in the world. He was sitting back there just checking each and every receiver, and then looked like he was going to get maybe to the line of scrimmage, but he put on the brakes, as you mentioned, Brent, juked one guy, and then he was off to the races.
And do we have a flag? Yes, we do. This one is coming back. Oh, my goodness. It would have been roughly 39 on the carry, but this one is coming back, and I think it was thrown, the illegal block, when he cut from the far boundary all the way across to the near boundary. He almost ran all 53 1/3 width of the field.
Yeah, that's a tough break, but they still had enough, even with the penalty, to pick up the first down. So fresh set of downs at the 37-yard line of the Rams.
Jailbreak screen. Olinger's got a couple of blockers in front of him. Nice job to quickly move to the football by the Rams secondary, and that's going to be a short gain at best. Well, we've seen a defensive score waved off due to an inadvertent penalty. We've seen 2 huge gains called back. I mean, this has been almost this evening for Fairview's offense.
Yeah, Fairview's only had 3 service master penalties, but they've all been big. One wiped out a touchdown. That wiped out a near touchdown. Would have been a 1st and goal.
From the 33, high snap. Zedike's going to go ahead and take off in between the tackles. Straight up the hash marks as he falls forward, and this one's going to be shy of the 25, about the 26-yard line.
Well, you saw a little bit of the athleticism of Zedike. That will be enough for the first down, but that was a nasty snap. He was able to quickly and athletically grab that high snap, and then he was able to get just enough to move the chains.
1st and 10, we'll call it the 27 as we're approaching 1 minute left to go in the first half. Fairview looking for more, leading 14-0. Taking some time here to get this snap off. They've got a hustle with 6 seconds left. It's going to be a handoff, a rare carry for Drayden Grinnell Dennis, and not much there. And now we'll see if Fairview burns a timeout. They will not. They've got a full complement of them, leading 14-0. 2nd down and 7. They're not going to save the clock. They're going to continue to let it tick. Zedike straight drop. Just a 2-man drop. He's going to sling this one down the middle from his knees, in and out of the hands of Jonathan Huffman. Almost.
Well, that time it looked like Gus Weiler was able to get his hands up at the last minute and just tip that football, or else that would have been an easy 6 there for the Apaches. But once again, we do have laundry on the field.
And let's wait and see what the umpire's call is going to be. Personal foul against Tinora. Wow.
Well, that's going to be the 4th service master penalty against the Rams. This is the big one. Instead of looking at what a 3rd down, from the 25. That's going to take it all the way into the Stanball Jewelers red zone. It'll be a first down from about the 12-yard line of the Rams.
This will be the 11th play of the drive. Now first, not quite goal from the 12. Zedek pump fakes. He's going to sling a timing pattern to the back corner of the end zone, and it's just off the fingertips of Brody Williams. Clock will stop with 32 ticks left to go.
Yeah, great clock management right now in this drive by the Apaches. They're still going to get 3 more cracks at it if necessary from the 12-yard line. They do have a strong kicker. They can kick the field goal, but you know this Apache offense
They're
is thinking
six.
6. No question. You got a guy like Zedek who's certainly is going to give you every opportunity.
Well, again, here's the thought, too, Scoop. You've got 3 full timeouts. So, again, you don't necessarily even have to go to the end zone, but just get something close. High snap. Zedek pump fakes. He fires. He's got a man wide open in the corner. It's caught by Meade. Touchdown.
Yeah, how about Meade that time getting wide open there on that left sideline. That's the 6th TD reception for Gavin Meade, the junior this year. And how about the Apaches? An impressive 2-minute drill. They use all but, 27 seconds. And that gives them a little bit more breathing room here as we approach the intermission, as that puts the Apaches up 20-0. Look to tack on one more.
Vandermeid. Good name for a kicker, right? He's
Absolutely.
was 46 out of 50 in point afters coming into tonight. He's 2 for 2 and make it 3 for 3 as he puts this one squarely between the uprights, and that makes it 21-0 Apaches. Just 27 ticks left to go. Another West Banco touchdown for Fairview as they are now beginning to open up the floodgates.
Yeah, they certainly don't call him Vander Miss. We know that. He's got a great leg on him, and he's been money all season long, hitting 90% of his point after. And 2 for 3, I believe, on field goals this year. The only miss we saw there from 47 yards early in this second quarter.
All right, now Tinora clearly on their heels, down by 3 touchdowns. Remember, they dropped 28 points in the first meeting between these two teams about 6 weeks ago, but their offense has been stymied so far here tonight. And we'll see how aggressive they want to get with less than 30 seconds left to go in the half.
Well, Brent, that's what's really impressed me. I mean, obviously, you always talk about the offense, but this defense for Fairview really has been lights out. That's kind of been the Achilles heel of the Apaches here the last few seasons. This year, coming in, giving up 19.9 points a game. Last year, a little bit closer to 26, 27. 2 years ago, over 30 points per contest.
It looks like we'll wait and see where the kick goes here from Vandermeid. It's going to be a squibber. And through the wickets of an up back, fielded at the 30, run out of bounds at about the 32, 33-yard line. Trying to get a number on the young man, the up back that fielded it. It was number 5. That is Xavier Schiniger. And now the question is, with 22 seconds left to go, do you really want to run some offense here? Or are you content to just make one snap of the football, lick your wounds, and go into the locker room?
Yeah, I think you go down swinging. So, you're down 3 scores. I know a lot of things can happen. You throw the football, but right now you need something to happen. You've got a guy like Farrell can throw a deep ball. So I look for them to be aggressive here, even though time is against them here.
Trips to the far side. Farrell, we've got a whistle. It was going to be a handoff, and Fairview wanted a timeout. Well, they were late recognizing the formation, and I saw what looked like a defensive back trying to recognize or get in the right position because there was a slop that was unmatched pre-snap, and I think Fairview's coaches saw the same thing, and they said, rather than risk this one, let's make sure everybody's on the same page.
That's just veteran coaching right there. Those timeouts don't carry over, and if you see anything that maybe has you off guard, burn that timeout, talk about it. The last thing you want to do is give up a cheap one here, especially after you played a really impressive 23.5+ minutes here in this opening half.
Now, the winner of this one will be on the road next week at Paulding as they drew a first-round bye, one of the 4 teams in this bracket to do so. That's not uncommon, Scoop, for the first round or two to kind of be glorified conference mini tournaments, if you will. And these teams, regardless of who advances, going to be very familiar with each other.
Oh, no doubt about it. Just like tonight, these two teams, two coaches know each other inside and out. And certainly everybody in GMC knows Paulding, their first ever GMC football title. And it took some last-minute heroics to take out the Apaches at Keyser Field back in Week 6. Or else the Apaches would have picked up their 20th GMC title this year.
22 ticks left to go. They fake the handoff. Farrell's just going to air this one out down the far sideline, and he underthrows his intended receiver. He was going for, looked like, number 12, Douglas Hademeyer. Or was that Shoffley, number 13? Numbers are so tight, and when those guys tuck those jerseys in, it was 13, okay?
Yeah, and I like them taking a shot here. I really do, because right now, hey, there's no tomorrow. And the fact that Fairview gets the ball to start the second half, well, I think you just do all you can do to find a way to get points on the board, even though you still have, 66 yards to go here.
Second down. This time they're just going to hand it off. And that looks like Hademer in after Replogle took a little bit of a pounding in the first half. And that, no flags being thrown, should be the final play of the first half. So both teams will head to their respective locker rooms. Fairview with a little more spring in their step. Tenora's going to lick their wounds and try to hit the reset button. Our score at the intermission, Apaches 21, Rams nothing. We'll take a quick 2-minute timeout. Back with your Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show right after this on DCTV Sports.
Westbanco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused Westbanco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
Stanball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stanball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948.
In life, unexpected challenges can test us. If you've been seriously injured in a car accident, you deserve a team that understands. Because your story matters. Call Arthur Law Firm today. We'll fight for you every step of the way.
Superior Credit Union, a not-for-profit, member-owned financial cooperative. Visit superiorcu.com to find out more about joining the winning team at Superior Credit Union.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com.
Back at Fairview, it's time for the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show as Fairview leading visiting Tinora 21-0 in the opening round of the playoffs. The 5th seed welcoming the visiting 12th seed, and right now all hosts. We're going to break down the stats in just a second here, but first let's take a quick listen. A tribute to the Beatles and Lonely Sgt. Pepper's, a Lonely Hearts Club Band. I just can't say it, it's too stinking cold tonight. Lonely Hearts Club Band, the Tinora Marching Band. Our score at the intermission, Fairview 21, Tinora nothing. Let's go ahead and take a look at our stat monitor here. And right now, well, what can you say? The aerial attack of the Apaches continues here. William Zedike, it could be a lot more than 21-0. 91 yards through the air at the half. Just on his attempts alone, he's got 131, I should say, total, on a completion percentage of just over 63%. He's also spread the wealth out, scooped 4 different receivers, have had at least a target with, it looks like, 3 with a reception.
Yeah, very impressive, and that's kind of been their mojo all year long. He's got so many weapons to choose from. We all know Olinger, being another 3-year starter for the Apaches, kind of been that favorite target at times. But again, he's had a lot of success. He's had almost maybe too much time. Well, he's awfully good on the move. He can hurt you again with his arms and legs. Impressive first half for this Apache offense that racked up a total of 253 yards here in the opening 24 minutes.
122 rushing, 131 passing. On the flip side, Tinora has had some very tough sledding here this evening. Looking at rushing, I can't believe this. They were at 13 yards through the end of, what was it, minus 13 through the end of the first quarter. They evened that out through the second quarter for a net of 0. Passing just 29 yards for a total of 29 yards. They have really struggled this season.
They really have. And that was the place, I think, coming in where they thought they might have had maybe an advantage of maybe running the football with a guy like Rhett Plogo back there. But both teams, Brent, in the opening half had 16 rushes. Fairview was able to get 122 yards on those 16 rushes. Meanwhile, Tinora right at 0 through 16 carries. In fact, the Rams had 24 plays in the opening half, netted just 29 yards on 24 plays. Boy, that makes it tough math.
Again, 21-0. You take a look at the penalties, and they were early and a couple of absolute detrimental ones for Tinora. The turnovers have been an even wash here through the first 24 minutes. But right now, don't forget that Fairview won the toss and deferred, so they will take the football to start the second half.
Yeah, and they're just so lethal. So I wouldn't be surprised if Coach Becker maybe rolls the dice, come out, onside kick, do something. You have to find a way to keep that Apache offense on the sideline. They've been that good.
Again, those are a look at your Arthur Law Firm statistics. Arthur Law Firm, if a car accident sidelines you, check out the services at Arthur Law Firm. The Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show continues. So we're taking a look at the Tinora Marching Band. We'll take a quick timeout. We're back with more right after this on DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
When a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag, let ServiceMaster Restore work for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhaul and rebuilding. Contact ServiceMaster by McCann. Sherwood State Bank, your community bank with locations in Sherwood, Defiance, Fayette, and Archbold. Sherwood State Bank, your community bank since 1945. Online at sherwood.bank.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
WesBanco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused WesBanco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
Back at Fairview, we are at the half as the Tinora High School Marching Band, with their half of tonight's presentation, happens to be Halloween, and it looks like Fairview's marching band has been given the green light to go ahead and come up with a costume or two, as the Apaches lead the visiting Rams of Tinora by a score of 21-0. The 5th seed leading the 12th seed. The winner advances to next Friday night, as they will take on GMC champion Paulding at Paulding. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller, and take a look at tonight. The 54th meeting between these two teams overall, third time in the playoffs. Look, they met earlier this season, and it was a 21-point win at Tinora for Fairview, but Tenora's offense put up 28 points in that contest, Scoop. Tonight, my drive charts are correct. They haven't crossed midfield at all, and they're going to be on defense to start the second half. If you are Coach Becker, what's your message to your team in the locker room right now?
Well, you got to flush the first half. You got to come out with some vengeance here in the second half. You still got 24 minutes of football. There's half the teams in Ohio would love to be in the shoes you're in right now and have a chance to be in the playoffs. But right now, not the start that they wanted. They have to right the ship. But again, they got beaten every phase of the game. That Apache defense was just suffocating. We went through the numbers there at halftime, but the offense there equally productive. And to me, Brent, the special teams too, I thought belonged to the Apaches. The average starting position for Fairview was near their own 45-yard line. Meanwhile, the Rams started near their own 20-yard line there on 7 first-half possessions, so they have to find a way to turn the tide. They still got time to do it, but, boy, this is a big hole against an awfully impressive Apache team that we all knew was dynamite coming in at 9-1 on the year.
On the flip side, they have rushed minimum 3. Actually, I should say probably minimum 2. There have been times where I've looked down in the trenches and there's just 2 green and white jerseys in what you would call a rush. They're dropping everybody else. Do you try and heat up William Zedike? Do you change things? Maybe bring some pressure, whether it's off the edges or at least bring another down lineman, because right now he has had all night to pick apart that defense.
Well, I really think, and I thought coming in, you really just got to throw everything at him. You've got to mix up your stunts, your blitzes. You've really got to give him a lot to think about. If you give him too much time, again, he's that cerebral player back there. He's so athletic. He can run with it, and he certainly can pick you apart. But I think they have to disrupt his timing. They're going to have to start blitzing, I think, a little bit more. I also think they have to spy him, because we saw them go to him, design quarterback draws time and time again, something he's done very well all season.
Well, right now it has led to a 21-0 lead for the Apaches. The Fairview High School Marching Band. Let's take a listen to their halftime performance. A little Monster Mash on Halloween from the Fairview Marching Band. The fans like it. Of course, the Fairview side of the venue going to be in a good mood right now as the Apaches lead the visiting Rams by a score of 21-0. We're going to take another quick timeout. We're back with more of the Midwest Community Federal Credit Union Halftime Show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Westbanco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused Westbanco. Find out more at westbanco.com.
Stanball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stanball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948.
In life, unexpected challenges can test us. If you've been seriously injured in a car accident, you deserve a team that understands. Because your story matters. Call Arthur Law Firm today. We'll fight for you every step of the way.
Superior Credit Union, a not-for-profit, member-owned financial cooperative. Visit superiorcu.com to find out more about joining the winning team at Superior Credit Union.
Discover top-quality healthcare education at Northwest State. Our instructors have real-world experience, so they know how to prepare you for great career opportunities. Northwest State, where you'll get the top-quality healthcare education you need to succeed.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
And we welcome you back as you see the fans enjoying the Fairview High School Marching Band's halftime performance on a Halloween night, as they are also enjoying their football team's performance. That's what everybody came for this evening, as the 5th-seeded Apaches taking it to the 12th-seeded Tinora Rams right now by a score of 21-0. The Midwest Community Federal Credit Union halftime show continues. Brent Balbinot rejoined by Scoop Miller. All right, Scoop, we touched a little bit on what Tinora might need to do defensively, because rushing 2, maybe even 3 down linemen max, the offensive line for Fairview has just been more than up to that challenge. William Zedike has had all night to pick apart the defense, and to be honest, it could easily be 28-0 or more. He's missed a couple of guys wide open downfield. But let's start with Tinora offensively. I thought they were really at their most effective, probably pre-snap, hot reads, making maybe a partial field read available to Owen Farrell, but you're locking in on one guy, some quick hitches, some quick outs, even a couple of hooks. Whether you run for 4 or throw for 4, it's still 4. It wins you the down. It keeps you ahead of the chains. Is that maybe what Tenora's offense might have to do, is just be a little bit more nickel and dime?
I believe so. You know, you can't. You're not going to get that 21 points back all at once, and it's okay. I think if they take 6-7 minutes to just chance to get a drive going and get some points on the board. But, again, I think 4 yards is that magic number. When you get 4+ yards of play, you do that 55% of the time, you're going to win 80+% of your ball games. But it's been those negative plays that's got Tinora behind the chains, made them one-dimensional. It's made it awfully tough. Just 4 first downs the opening half for the Rams.
Well, that Fairview secondary has been more than up to the task this evening. Huffman and Aaron at the corners, Olinger and Garza at the safeties, and even the linebackers have done a good job at coverage underneath, to the point where, how many times did you say coverage sack in the first half? Owen Farrell, when he has had time, simply hasn't had an open green jersey downfield.
Yeah, I think there's 2 things in the second half. The one, I think Owen Farrell is going to have to get rid of the football in a hurry because he's really been under duress. And, again, he's not a guy that's going to, okay, nothing's there, I'm going to beat you with my legs. And on the flip side, I think you have to force Will Zedike to get rid of the football in a hurry. You just cannot let him sit back there and pick which guy because, to guard this speed that the receiving core has for Fairview, you try to guard them more than a few seconds, good luck. It's just a matter of time before somebody breaks loose.
On the flip side here, 21-0 if you are Fairview. And Coach Rakes, what's your message to your team?
Well, keep playing. Right now our goal is not to win a half. Our goal is to win the game. So we have to come out. We had a great first half, but we've got to build on it. We get the ball first. Let's try to make sure we start getting doubt creeping in that Tinora side. So they want to come out and really march the field, get some big separation, and really just kind of build on that momentum we saw the opening 24 minutes.
For a score that was 49-28, and by both coaches' admissions 6 weeks ago at Tinora, was really decided by about 4 or 5 plays, a couple of big plays for Fairview as well, or that might have been a 7 to 8 point ball game going into that fourth quarter. I'm looking at the scoreboard right now, and for as much as you say maybe we've missed, they're still up 21-0. They're going to have the ball to open up the second half. And if you do, Fairview does what you're saying, Scoop, march down the field and score, you're 1 possession away from having a running clock in the second half.
I think this opening possession is really game, set, and match for the Rams. They have to get a stop. And remember, Tenora's got to be telling themselves, hey, we put 29 points in these guys back in week 4, so we can do it again, but the defense has to set the tone. So if they can get a stop, or even better yet, maybe force an early turnover, inherit some good field position, they've got a chance to make this a game. But again, they've got little margin of error right now after digging themselves a 21-point deficit here in the opening half.
Well, Farrell and Zedike, as you can't see right now, they are meeting at midfield right now with the umpires. You see Fairview just kind of warming up. And there in the center of your screen, just a reminder by the umpire that Fairview won the toss and deferred, so they will be receiving to start the second half, up 21-0. They have tacked on another 3 minutes as Tinora was using every second possible in the locker room to try and regroup, so to speak. So let's take one more 1-minute timeout. When we come back, we will get set for the second half. Apaches 21, Rams nothing. You're watching DCTV Sports.
When a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag, let ServiceMaster Restore work for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhaul and rebuilding. Contact ServiceMaster by McCann. Sherwood State Bank, your community bank with locations in Sherwood, Defiance, Fayette, and Archbold. Sherwood State Bank, your community bank since 1945. Online at sherwood.bank.
You get a good look at the Fairview sideline. They are anxious to get the second half going. They're going to get their hands on the football to open up the third quarter and leading 21-0. Our crew doing a tremendous job here this evening. Should take a look at the opening round of the playoffs here. Tinora coming in at an even 500 with a 36-30 win over Edgerton in the last week of the regular season to qualify. They grabbed that 12th and final spot. But 5-2 in conference play is very respectable. And then you see the Fairview Apaches, again, Only 3 games this season decided by less than 21 points. They were actually one-score games, with that only loss being to GMC champion Paulding. So coming in at 9-1 and 6-1 respectively. And not so ironically, the winner of tonight's game will advance to take on Paulding next Friday.
Well, remember, the Apaches maybe just over a minute away from running the table. They had Paulding beat at Keyser Field there in Paulding before a last-second heroic touchdown by Jalen Mans turned that game around. And remember, Brent, a year ago, Tinora was 7-0 in the GMC. Yep. The Apaches 6-1. Only a 35-34 loss to the Rams kept the Apaches from picking up the GMC title a year ago. So they've got a lot to prove here. They've had a great season, but right now they want to keep this playoff string alive here and try to get to that next round against GMC champion Paulding, who is in attendance here tonight.
Why wouldn't you be? A chance to scout? One less week of wear and tear on your body. They earned that first-round bye. There you take a look at a young man who I would think, if he wants to, will be playing at the next level. He's only a junior, but 6-foot, 170-pounder Logan Olinger came into tonight with 73 receptions for over 1,000 yards and 13 touchdowns. That's better than a touchdown a game. As a matter of fact, his average was over 105 yards per game, and he's got one score to his credit already this evening.
Oh, just incredible. That one TD reception is 14th of the year. And remember, he also has a rushing TD tonight. So, all in all, 24 TDs this year for Olinger. And, again, he's a dangerous threat here when he's back to receive kicks. Tinora will kick off here to start
I can't imagine Hancock's going to kick at it.
No.
There's no way. He's going to kick to the far boundary. I believe this is number 23, Gavin Mead, who picks it up just past the 20, trying to get some blockers in front of him, and works his way out to about the 25, maybe past the 25 to the 26. And it's going to be decent field position for the Apaches to open up the second half.
Remember, Brent, you talked about it in one of those screenshots we had at halftime. The third playoff game between these two teams ever. Tinora owns the first two. So right now the Apaches trying to do something they have not done, is beat Tinora in a playoff game. And right now they're halfway home and doing that.
Zedek surveys the defense. They're going to rush 3. Pocket stays clean. He's going to sling this one. He's got a man wide open down the far sideline. This is Brody Williams. Nobody's going to catch him. One play, one touchdown, 27-0 on a blown coverage by the Rams.
Now, once again, Zedek had all the time in the world, and you just have to find a way to make him get rid of the football. That time, you gave him time to step into that throw, and he threw a strike. And wow, just seconds into the second half, Fairview has struck first here, and now that doubt starts creeping in on that Rams sideline.
All of 16 seconds. One play, 74 yards on the touchdown reception. Zedek to Williams. Vandermeid on to attempt the extra point. Fairview is short a man. They got to hustle. They've only got 10 seconds to get this snap off.
Thought he could get a break, and then they realized they only had 10 guys on it.
Snap is down. Kick is up. Oh, he pushed that to the right, and that just tucked inside the right upright. But the point after is good. It only took one play to go 74 yards, and putting their foot on Tenora's throat, Fairview is now up 28-0.
Well, how about Brody Williams' first reception of the night, takes it to the house. And that's just how you draw it up at halftime. And for Williams, that's his third TD reception of the year.
A West Banco touchdown, but again, blown coverage. There was nobody within 10 yards of Williams. He didn't run a fancy route, Scoop. It looked like he was just running I can't even call it a rail route because he was just outside the far hash mark. It was a simple go route.
Yeah, it was. A go route, fly route, however you want to term it. But again, he was uncovered. And again, when you give Zedek that much time, he's going to find that open man. He shares the wealth. We talked about that at halftime. And that time he gets one more receiver involved, and that's Brody Williams. And he does it in style.
Hatmer and Sheets are both standing deep for the Rams, waiting for Vandermeid's kick. 16 seconds into the second half, and Fairview strikes and strikes big for a 28-0 lead. Kick is high. It's going to the far boundary, and this one is brought in by Hattemer. Down the far sideline, still on his feet, taking a few defenders with him, and let's see where he's run out of bounds. Little extracurricular activity now taking place. His tempers might be starting to do more than just simmer on that Tinora sideline.
He takes it out to about the 30-yard line. So once again, pretty good coverage by the Apache special teams play. Once again, the Rams looking at a long field, but also the Rams looking at their biggest deficit of the night at 28-0.
Well, we talked about it. Right now, there's no such thing as a 28-point touchdown, Scoop, but this drive is absolutely critical to move the ball, and now I'm almost probably thinking it's got to be a must-score situation, doesn't it?
Yeah, you got to win battles before you can win the war, so you just got to control first down. There's a nice pickup there on a little curl route.
Owen Reynolds with the catch from his knees.
And Reynolds picks up nearly 7 yards on that, so a good start here. We'll see if they maybe go a little bit more tempo here, down 4 scores here in this third quarter. But again, the main thing is move the chains, keep that Apache offense on the sideline. More importantly, get some points on the board, get some confidence.
2nd down and 3. Plogel, they got 2 tights in, and this one's just going to be a simple handoff off the left side. He squirts through a hole, gets to the second level, and out past the 45 to the 46-yard line.
That's a big-time run there by Rhett Plogel, who just about broke it. He got to that second level before being brought down, but not before a first down and 9 big yards there by the big man.
This is what Tinora needs, not only to move the chains, but they've got 54 yards to go before they hit pay dirt. Being shut out right now, 28-0. Farrell surveying the defense. Fairview's going to drop back. He's going to air it out. He's got a man on a skinny post and diving catch. Did he hang on to it? Yes! That ball is caught by Dylan Shopley with the niftiest grab you're going to see.
He's such a good athlete, and again, one of those guys that's had a lot of receptions on the year, but that time Shoffley was able to haul it in on a spectacular catch. He had to sell out, was able to hang on when he hit the turf. The second first down here, this drive by the Rams, that takes it all the way into the Stanball Jewelers red zone.
37 yards on the catch, and now all of a sudden, Tinora with a little bit of life. As Replogo gets the call and just bulldozes his way down to the 11 for a pickup of about 4.
Yeah, once again, nice job. They're just kind of mixing things up, trying to keep the Apache defense honest. That time, again, the key is try to get those 3-4 yards. They do that time on first down. And the Rams trying to stay ahead of the chains here in what's certainly 4-down territory.
2nd down and roughly 5. Maybe we'll call it a short 6. Faking the handoff. Farrell rolling out to the near side. He's going to fire to a man in the back of the end zone and overthrows a pair of Ram receivers. Owen Reynolds did leap to get a hand on it, but it would have taken a miracle catch.
Yeah, once again, when you make Farrell run with the football, it makes it awfully tough to hit receivers. And that time, a good stop on 2nd down. That's going to move the Rams behind the chains here a little bit, looking at 3rd down here in a long 6.
I'm watching Farrell tuck that right hand or right shoulder in tight. He's taken a bit of a beating. He was banged up very early in the first quarter after he got sacked. He appears to be okay. As this is just going to be a quick out on a hot read, and it was caught, it was dropped, and was it a catch or an incompletion? And they're going to say he took 2 steps with it. Nope. The clock stops,
that's going to be
and it is a recovery by Fairview. So on the best drive of the night, the clock had stopped, so I wasn't sure if it was an incomplete pass or a fumble, and that's what it was. And that is going to turn the ball over for the 2nd time tonight, this time deep in Fairview territory.
Well, that's a deflator right there. The Ram offense for the first time tonight shows signs of life. And once they had it inside that 10-yard line, they fumbled it away.
Fairview will take over 1st and 10 at their own 5. And Sheets is not afraid to throw out of his own end zone. Flushed out of the pocket, going to throw off his back foot, hits a man in stride, and incomplete. The receiver was out of bounds. He was trying for Meade.
Yeah, that time Meade doing all he could to try to stay in bounds, but just couldn't quite get his feet down as he goes over that sideline. He did make the reception, but not before he was out of bounds. 2nd and 10 now for Zedike and Apaches.
Still from their own 5. Zedike out of the pistol again, getting some pressure. He's going to air it out. He's got Meade open by about 2 steps and just didn't quite put enough air underneath it. Well, I'll tell you what, these Apache receivers are getting separation, Scoop, and it's just been almost on 5, maybe even 6 times tonight.
Well, that's something they've done so well all season long. Fairview on the year come in averaging a blistering 43.9 points per contest through 10 games. And again, it doesn't really matter to them where they get the football. They've got that big playability. So even though they're deep here, they certainly know how to put points on the board.
Yeah, but right now it's 3rd and 10 from your own 5. They are 0 yards so far on this drive. They're going to try and set up the slip screen. Meade's got it. Cuts back to the near sideline. He makes a man miss, and now he's down the sidelines. 25 and run out of bounds as he crosses the 25-yard line. That was yards after the catch for a 1st down.
Yeah, that time the Rams just trying to keep everything in front, but they run that slip screen, and again, they do it to perfection. Not only was the pitch and catch spot on, but the blocking with just how you draw it up. Great job of kicking it to the outside there. And a big 1st down and a nice 3rd down conversion deep inside their own territory.
23 yards on the catch, and well over half of that came on individual effort from Gavin Meade. And now some breathing room for the Apache offense as they will send Grinnell Dennis in motion to the far sideline. They're going to swing it out, and just a little too hot for Garza to be able to hang on to.
Well, I think that's the key. Try to get some pressure in there, make him go to those hot reads, get rid of the football quick. And that timing just wasn't there. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 here. The Rams desperately need that hold here.
Did Zedike feel a little pressure before it was really there, in your opinion, on that play? Or was he just a little amped up and got rid of the ball before his back had a chance to turn around?
It looked like he had a little more time, but that's probably as much pressure as he's seen tonight. He's had it that good with that powerful offensive line.
Tinora shows blitz but backs out of it. Zedike has room to run if he wants, but he's looking to go downfield. Great coverage by the Rams, and now he's going to take off. High steps out of a couple tackles and basically tiptoes his way down the far sideline out of bounds near the 40-yard line. That'll be a pickup of about, where are they going to spot him? If they spot him at the 40, it's 13. They're going to give him 12 at the 39.
Oh, he's so elusive. That time he just kind of put him asleep. He had all kinds of time, and he's looking downfield, and then he kind of just puts on the burners and catches the defense flat-footed, and he's able to run for the 1st down. The 2nd 1st down in this 3rd quarter for the Apaches, on this drive.
With that carry, Scoop, Zedike's now over 100 yards tonight rushing, 103 yards. He's doing it both with his legs and his arm. As he pump fakes here, he's got Meade wide open across the middle, but he can't find him. Trying to buy some time, throws off his back foot, and he was going for Meade, trying to find a soft spot in the coverage, but it's out of bounds.
Yeah, that time initially he did have Meade, but again, a little bit of pressure that time by the Rams. He's unable to spot him. Right now the Rams not only need to get that stop, get the football, but they need to get some field position. So right now you cannot afford to bend here on defense. You've got to get the football back here and acquire some field position while doing so.
2nd down and 10 from the 39. Ball on the far hash. Ooh, high snap. We've got a flag, and did we have early movement?
Yes, we did. That's going to be a false start coming up here on the Apaches. The first service master penalty here of the 2nd half. But again, I know you hate those penalties. When you have an offense like this, you can overcome those penalties in a hurry. But again, that's one thing you want to clean up. This time of year, you don't want those pre-snap penalties. That's only going to make it tough here to make a deep playoff run. And we know this Apache team is certainly primed to do that.
Well, up 28-0, penalties like this are an annoyance. Next week, I guarantee you at Paulding, they could be dangerous. Zedike, two-step drop, looking right. Now looking left, fires across the middle. He's got a man. Diving attempt in and out of Ohlinger's hands. Oh, if that ball hits him in stride, it's 34-0.
Oh, he's gone. That time, just maybe 2 feet out in front of him, and Ohlinger dove on it. That's a catch he'll make a lot of times. He's that athletic, but that time, boy, that was a bullet. He nearly caught that. If that ball was upstairs just a little bit, you give him time to run underneath it. Boy, he's taking that to the downs.
Boy, that ball was a 15-foot tree topper about, 30 yards downfield?
At least.
Zedike looking downfield again. This one's got a lot more on it, and he overthrows me, but the coverage that time was excellent by Tinora, and in particular, Garrett Sheets.
Well, here's something we don't see very often, the punt team coming on for the Apaches.
First time tonight.
Great job there by the Rams to they gave up a couple first downs there, gave up some yardage, but they get the needed stop there in third down. Now Apaches will punt away from approximately their 25-yard line when it's all said and done.
This should be Drayden Grinnell Dennis for the first time this evening, as we've got Sheets and Shoffley both standing back to return for Tinora. High end over end kick. And check that. This is going to be Reynolds. And wow, he paid the price for trying to take it to the far boundary. Dropped and dropped hard. And are they going to spot this at the 31 or 32-yard line?
A great coverage that time by the Apaches. I've been impressed with their special teams here tonight, and that time just no return yards to be had there by the Rams.
Their own 37-yard line. Trailing 28-0. Their last drive got to the 5-yard line before a fumble gave it right back to the Apaches, and Farrell running for his life again. Singer all over him. He's going to tuck it away and wisely steps out of bounds, but it's going to be a loss. Probably, let's see where the line judge is going to spot him at about the 34. That's going to be a loss of about 5 yards.
Yeah, surprised he just did not throw that out of bounds there.
Well, Spangler was breathing down his neck, and for whatever reason, he tucked it away to run instead of throwing it away, and that's going to cost him 5.
Yeah, once again, another negative play for the Rams. Credit that Apache defense, forcing all kinds of havoc on Owen Farrell here tonight.
Second and about 15. Quick hit. Shoffley's got it, and it's dropped incomplete. And I think he felt footsteps coming that time, and no surprise, John Hoffman had that one sniffed out.
Yeah, tremendous play there by Jonathan Huffman that time. He was one-on-one. That's not an easy guy to be had there one-on-one, but he did a great job. Got a great break on the football, and he definitely heard footsteps coming in. Now bring up a third down and 14 or 15 now for the Rams, and a chance for the Apache defense to get another 3 and out.
Well, Rapogel remains the lone back. Farrell with a two-step drop. Rapogle's in for protection. Airing this one out down the far sideline, and a lot of hand fighting. No flags being thrown. It is incomplete. Coverage that time by Elijah Arend, but again, Tinora pleading their case, and up slowly. I'm trying to get a number on the Rams receiver who's clutching his chest right now as he came down and hit the ground hard. It's Owen Reynolds.
Yeah, I thought that was great coverage. I thought that was a very good no call. Certainly some jockeying going on, little hand checking and so forth, but pretty good coverage that time. The secondary by the Apaches. And the Rams are going to go 3 and out and punt the football back to Fairview.
So here's Hancock in to do the punting chores. They're coming after him, and he just does get it away. Ohlinger says poison, steps away from it. Ball bounces and moves laterally inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. Good field position for the Apaches for their third offensive series here in the second half. We still have 7:46 left to go in this third quarter.
Well, right here, if the Apaches can put this in the end zone or even get the field goal, we're going to have a running clock. Yep. So the Ram defense really has to come up big. They've got to force a turnover or a quick 3 and out, or else Fairview can start milking this game away.
Twins stacked to the near and the far side. This is just going to be a simple jailbreak screen Oldinger's got it, finds a seam, takes off. Oh, cuts it back against the grain, and look out! It's a dead sprint to the end zone. He's got a posse in front of him, and nobody's going to catch him as he Cadillacs it into the end zone, 66 yards. Pay dirt, Apaches.
Once again, another one-play drive here by Fairview in this third quarter. That time, not maybe so simple, jailbook screen as you mentioned, Brent, but again, it really was just a quick hitter to one of your athletes. And when you make a guy miss, just a great job with the run after catch there by Ollinger.
Do we have a flag down? I'm being told we do. And personal foul against Fairview. Now, that must have been after the touchdown. Yes. So this will be tacked on afterwards. I didn't see it.
This will go on the kickoff.
Yes. When I said afterwards, exactly, on the kick. So the score will stand 34-0 at the 6:40 mark. And Vandermeer on to try and make it 35-0. A little bit of a high snap. It is down. Kick is up. Well, he's pushed his last couple, but they've been through the uprights. 2 one-play drives, one for 76 yards, one for 66 yards, and it's now 35-0 Fairview, and we will have a running clock at least for the time being. That was interesting because a true jailbreak usually has a couple of teammates out in front of it. Ollinger just had one, and one was all he needed, but what he did was instead of following the flow of the play, Scoop, he immediately cut back against the grain, and you saw the entire secondary of Tinora coming to him, and next thing you know, it's like trying to reverse the tide.
Well, you over-pursue when you do that, and again, I just thought that was a heads-up play there by Ollinger because 99 times out of 100, you're going to try to get to the edge, get a few extra yards, but he was thinking bigger than that. And again, he picked up just some great blocks along the way, but mainly the fact they were pursuing that time. And, boy, that's a special type of athlete out there, Ollinger. But now with that penalty, that's going to move it back 15 yards. So a 15-yard service master penalty after the touchdown. The Apaches will kick it away from their own 25-yard line.
Vandermeer. We'll see if he goes ahead and just puts everything he's got into it. As you can imagine, the return men both way up for Tinora, standing at their own 25. And Vandermeer's going to squirt this one. It hits the first man through, and he falls on it at the Fairview 40-yard line. I'm not sure that's what he wanted to do, but that was a heads-up play and great hands by Brady Mack.
Yeah, tremendous job by the freshman. Anytime you're seeing a line drive off the kick like that, that's not an easy recovery. He did a smart thing. He was able to snake it. And now the Rams will start out in Apache territory at the Fairview 40-yard line.
Best start of any drive so far this evening for the Rams. We'll see what they can do with it with 5:43 and counting here in the third quarter, but we will have a running clock with the Apaches up 35-0 and Replogle straight up the gut for a short gain. But right now you would just think Ram pride would demand a score here, Scoop. You're down by 5 touchdowns. You still have another quarter left to go, but one snap at a time.
Yeah, and Coach Becker, I mean, he's a Tinora grad. He knows a lot about Ram pride. So these guys will continue playing here, although this clock now nonstop will make this a quick remainder of the quarter.
Well, completion up the far side to Reynolds, and he's run out of bounds inside the 20, and we're going to have a flag on a late hit by Fairview.
Yeah, that time clearly a late hit there. They just kind of lost track where the sideline was. That's going to be a service master penalty. That will take it half the distance of the goal. And the Rams will have a first down in the Stanball Jewelers red zone. And it could even be a first and goal. We'll see where they spot it after the dust settles. I will believe it'll be a first and goal.
Ball will be spot just inside the 10 at the 9-yard line. First and goal, as Scoop mentioned, inside the Stanbaugh Jewelers red zone. 35-0 Fairview, but Tinora trying to at least stop the running clock here in the next handful of snaps. Plogle gets the call, right side. Just not a lot there this evening.
Yeah, again, we mentioned at halftime, 16 carries, 0 net yards.
Yeah.
Boy, it's been tough treading there on the ground here for the Rams.
Well, they haven't bettered much so far, Scoop, just 11 yards on the ground today.
This defensive front there by the Apaches, Gavin Meade, John Huffman, Drayden Grinnell, Dennis, boy, those guys are getting after it. Adam Spangler,
Gage
Isaiah
Mullins.
Weed,
Yep.
Mullins.
They have just gummed up everything as we're now under 3.5 left to go, third quarter. Farrell fakes the handoff, rolling out near side. He's going to fire across the middle and through the fingertips of his intended receiver, Owen Reynolds.
Touchdown.
Oh, did he catch that? He did. I stand corrected.
Yeah, big-time catch by
Reynolds.
Owen
Has got it.
The sophomore who had 12 TDs through the airways coming in picks up number 13. With that score there, that would put an end to the running clock and also put the Rams on the board here for the first time tonight.
So I stand corrected. Reynolds disappeared, but and the point after attempt is blocked. It is blocked.
That time Ollinger got in there to block that. So again, special teams making an impact here for Fairview tonight.
The score remains 35-6. .310 left to go. Rams are on the board, but still a lot of work to do. We're going to take a quick timeout. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com.
There you take a look at the Fairview student section. Staying warm tonight. Watching the action heat up on the field. 35-6. Apaches lead the Aces, and my apologies to Owen Reynolds, where we are sitting up in the booth. We got to crane our necks to see everything from the 20-yard line over. And Reynolds disappeared behind the defensive back, and I didn't think he had it, but he did. So, Owen, tip of the cap to you.
Never underestimate Owen Reynolds.
Nobody
was a tremendous catch just behind the defense, just inside the back of the end zone.
Hancock will put a boot into it. 3 deep to receive. They have been, oh, look at this. It's going to be an onside kick. And did this catch Fairview on their heels? And Tinora might be on it.
Yeah, that's about as well as you can execute it right there. And they do recover the football. So well done by the Rams. And after scoring their first touchdown, they'll once again start out in Apache territory after a successful onside kick. So Rams will take over at the Apache 47-yard line.
Well, as you normally want on a kickoff, that first bounce gets a little extra English on it. The second one is the one that's supposed to come up high, and it did. And I don't think they could do that any better if they ran it 100 more times.
It was just well executed. Once the ball is off the turf, you cannot fair catch it, so that makes it a free ball as long as it goes 10 yards. That ball went about 11 before the Rams were able to touch it and then eventually snake it. Well done by the Rams trying to score back-to-back here.
So this is going to be spot at the 40, we're going to call it 8-yard line of Tinora. So after a score, Fairview back on defense unexpectedly as Tinora going to try and keep the momentum up as Replogle gets the call off the right side and inside the 40 to the 40, pardon me, inside the 45 to the 44.
Yeah, nice run there by Replogle once again, who's able to just really earn those 3 yards there on first down.
Empty backfield. 2:40 and counting. Second down and about 7. Farrell fires, and that's just a quick hitch. That is what we thought we might see more of when we were breaking things down at the half scoop. Just shy of the first down marker, but Jacob Schinninger with the catch, and that's going to bring up 3rd down and short.
Yeah, great execution that time on that quick hitch route. He's able to turn around, find the football, well-timed. Going to bring up a 3rd down and a long 2 here for the Rams.
You got to figure this is 4-down territory.
Absolutely.
Now under 2 minutes left to go in the 3rd quarter. And again, just trying to go with their big stallion, Replogle. Needed 2, he picked up 3, and that'll move the chains.
Yeah, nice job there by the Rams. Again, getting those positive 3-4 yards is the key to moving those chains. That's the 4th first down this 3rd quarter for Tinora. Remember, they had just 4 the entire first half, and 1 was via an early penalty by the Apaches.
Coming up on 1.5 minutes left to go in quarter number 3. Pump fake. Farrell's going to air it out down the near sideline. His man's got a foot, and did he haul it in? No, he dropped the pass as he crossed the goal line. He had Dylan Shoffley open. Shoffley tried to haul it in and keep it tight in the breadbasket as he crossed the goal line. He just couldn't quite do it.
Great route by Shoffley that time, who had just a little bit of separation there. Well thrown ball by Farrell. It certainly would have been a spectacular catch as Shoffley comes up with it. And we've seen Shoffley make some great catches this year. That time he comes up empty. Boy, that could have been huge there for the Rams. Instead, it'll be 2nd and 10 from the Apache 37-yard line.
Farrell 2-step drop looking left. That's where he flooded his receivers. And again, just a quick hitch. Ball hauled in by Josh Lieb.
Well, they've
tight end getting the catch.
They've had a lot of success with that play here, especially in this 3rd quarter. So after the incomplete pass, they pick up 7 there on 2nd down. So again, as you mentioned, Brent, certainly going to be 4-down territory in Apache territory.
Now under 1 minute left to go in the 3rd quarter. They're going to call it 3rd and a long 4. And I'm watching Farrell throw his arms out. Not quite sure what the play call is coming from the sideline. They fake the handoff, 2-step drop, and now he's running for his life. Looking downfield, and he's just going to throw this one away. And I think he learned his lesson from the first half there.
Yeah, you just can't afford to take the sack that time. But again, that time Farrell not only had to scramble out of the pocket, but he was going in reverse, so smart play. That's a good incomplete pass. Now it's going to bring up a 4th down and a long 3, maybe 4 here. Certainly the Rams will go for it here. Down 4 scores here.
Well, again, Scoop, this is where I think you've got a hot receiver pre-snap. Your job is to run a 5-yard route and just turn and make sure you secure the ball, and Farrell's job is to put it on your numbers. We'll wait and see who that man is. Usually it's the slot. And instead, he's going to drop back and look left. And now he's running for his life, and he trips up and falls down without a finger on him at the 45-yard line.
Oh, that's just tough sledding. You really didn't give yourself a chance there on a 4th down and short. Because that time, once you force Farrell to run with the football, boy, that just plays into your hands defensively. And great job by the Apaches. Even though Tinora recovered that onside kick, the Apaches get a big stop. They'll take over on their own 44-yard line.
Loss of 14. I'm going to ask you what the play call was there, because they had the near side flooded with 3 receivers, and I'm thinking somebody's going to run a quick slant or maybe just a hitch. He looked like he was turning to sprint to go to the far boundary there.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to try to run a drag across the field or something, but again, they've not had that kind of time to throw tonight, and certainly did not there either.
So 1st and 10 from their own 45, and this is a wildcat. Olinger takes a direct snap, bangs into 2 or 3 men, still on his feet, and finally now willingly goes out of bounds, but not until he crosses the Tinora 40 down to the 37-yard line.
So what, he just does not go down on his own, does not go down easy, and that time we've seen the wildcat pretty much every game we've been to for Fairview this year, and that time it's going to end up being a first down.
19 yards on the carry.
Takes it all the way down to the Ram 37-yard line.
And again, Fairview looking to get that running clock back. Stepping out of bounds here with 24 ticks left to go third quarter, and they're going to run it again. Olinger straight up the gut, off the left side. He lost the football. It looks like he's back on it, and we've got all kinds. I think these are orange markers, though, down. I don't believe we've got a penalty. Now we've got extracurricular activity in the secondary, and we do have a yellow flag.
Yeah, that time Olinger was stripped on the Wildcat. That ball hit the turf. Still have not seen a ruling who recovered. I think it was the Apaches.
Him. It was him. He got back on it. But the penalty now coming in the Rams secondary. It was 20 yards downfield. It did not affect the play, and Coach Rakes is giving his team a little bit of a tail chewing on the sideline.
Yeah, that's just inexcusable right there. You have to keep your composure on this, but it will be unsportsmanlike coming up against the Apaches. And fortunately for Fairview in this one, Brent, the penalty is only 15 yards. If that penalty was for every yard that flag was in the air, they'd be walking back toward the end zone. I mean, that flag was up there.
Arguably the ugliest play of the night for Fairview with the fumble, but then the recovery, and then the penalty about 20 yards downfield.
Yeah, that's the second 15-yard service master penalty by the Apaches here in this third quarter. So you know that's going to be a harping point from Coach Rakes here as we hit the end of the third quarter.
They'll switch ends of the field. Apaches in control, 35-6. We'll see what they do when they head west. It'll be 1st and 10, but from their own 37, it's going to be more than 10. It's going to be about 25. When we come back, you're watching DCTV Sports.
For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Westbanco, building a better bank every day since 1870. Community-focused Westbanco. Find out more at westbanco.com. Stamball Jewelers is your trusted source for diamonds, fine jewelry, watches, and gifts. Whether you're looking for a dazzling engagement ring, a timeless anniversary gift, or a present for someone special, Stamball Jewelers has something for every occasion. Visit us today and discover why we've been serving the community since 1948.
Final 12 minutes put up on the scoreboard clock. We welcome you back to Fairview. It will be 2nd down and 20. Apaches lead visiting Tinora by a score of 35-6. Seedike straight drop. Plenty of time. They're only rushing 3. He's got all night to throw. Steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to take off. Down the far sideline. Lots of green and white jerseys looking at his backside, and he may have just picked up the first down. Holy cow. On 2nd and 20, he got 20. They're moving the chains.
Just incredible. And again, he had all the time in the world, and once he saw the overcommit, he takes off, and he's not an easy guy to bring down. And how about that pickup? 22 yards there, and another first down by the Apaches on the move here in this fourth quarter.
1st and 10, just outside the Stamball Jewelers red zone. This is going to be another QB draw. Nothing doing off the right side. Check that. It's going to be a Wildcat with Olinger. And we have a flag down in the backfield. Nice open field tackle there by Shoffley. And let's see what the call is, but this almost always in the area of holding.
Yeah, it was a textbook tackle that time by Dylan Shoffley. Again, Olinger not easy to bring down out of the Wildcat.
Oh, false start. I'm somewhat surprised. I didn't hear a whistle there because normally with a false start, the play is dead at that point.
Yeah, I think that's 6 service master penalties now for the Apaches tonight. Certainly Coach Rake's not going to be happy with that number.
Well, and I don't care who wins this ball game. Clearly Fairview in control. You can't have those types of penalties next week against Paulding.
No, you know that the deeper you go on, the less margin you have for error. And, again, those self-inflicted penalties sometimes can be the difference between a tight win and a tight loss.
Zedike straight drop. He's got all night to throw again, directing traffic, fires off his back foot, and it is going to be complete to Meade inside the 20 at about the 18-yard line.
And again, that's the respect they have for Zedike. That time, all three linebackers there for the Rams just kind of 5 yards downfield. They're all just kind of mirroring him, not letting him run. But what that does, it gives him all kinds of time to pick you apart. And there you
Should
see
be a gain of 13.
Zedike's numbers.
12. All right, we'll call it 12. Second down and 2. He's going to air it out to the near corner. He's got a man caught. Oh, what a throw. Drops in an absolute beauty as it is hauled in by number 21, Shady Fritch, for the touchdown.
How about Shady Fritch coming up with his 5th touchdown reception of the year? And again, they just have so many different receivers they can go to with confidence. And we've seen Fritch time and time again come up with some big plays. Coming in tonight, Brent, he's averaging over 21 yards per catch on the season. He doesn't hurt his totals with that one right there as he gets the back corner of the end zone. And right now, the running clock will be back in effect after that Fritch touchdown on the excellent pass from Zedike.
Vandermeid on to attempt the point after. Again, Zedike will hold. Long count. Snap is low, but Zedike gets it up, and this one tucked just inside the left upright. So it is good, and at the 10:34 mark, the running clock is back on. Fairview 42, Tinora 6. We'll take a 30-second break. We're back after this on DCTV Sports.
Superior Credit Union, a not-for-profit, member-owned financial cooperative. Visit superiorcu.com to find out more about joining the winning team at Superior Credit Union.
Discover affordable transfer opportunities at Northwest State.
Start here and save thousands on tuition.
Our advising team will help you get your credits transferred.
So don't wait another minute. Get started today.
Ten minutes and 34 seconds was when the touchdown was up. Now I'm looking up at the clock, and they've got 9:58 showing, and I don't know where a phantom 36 seconds just went, but we'll go by the clock. Interesting. Either way, the score is right, 42-6, and it will be a running clock for the remainder of the game unless Tinora can find the end zone.
The rule is, Brent, once the score is 30-plus, the running clock goes right away. It stops at the end of the extra point. So there's the extra time happened, and now it will start on the kickoff. It will remain running until there's either a timeout or after the extra point on a touchdown.
As Vandermeid. There you go. I was waiting to see this kid's leg, and he goes deep, and this one is muffed. Almost slipped and hitting a knee, and now Sheets has got all kinds of problems as he's fighting his way out past the 15-yard line, and there really isn't any more real estate.
Yeah, it's been that type of night for the Rams. And again, a great special teams play by Fairview one more time. The Rams are pinned deep, well inside their own 20.
Well, Tinora had their chances in the second half. They got their opening drive down inside the Fairview 5 and then fumbled. And they've given up 2 one-play drives, a 76-yard touchdown reception to Williams, a 66-yard touchdown reception to Ollinger, and then they just finished that drive off as well.
Yeah, those were daggers, especially that first play of the third quarter, 76 yards out, just 16 seconds into the second half, you give up 7.
And I think we got a new running back in. I'll have to double check here, but I think Replogel's night might be done. Let's take a peek. And get up, young man. Turn around and be identified. Nope, it's Replogel. It is Replogel. Boy, how about this? Again, I know as a junior, and he's coming off of injury. he's taken a pounding tonight, but he's still going hard.
He's a tough kid. He came in, their leading scorer, their leading rusher, one of the top rushers in the GMC, averaging over 5.4 yards per carry. But, boy, he's had his hands full tonight as the defense has keyed on him quite a bit.
This one going to be slung to the far side. It is caught, and Shoffley steps out of bounds on 2nd down and 10. Is that 12 or 13? That might be Hadimer, excuse me. Tough to tell on the far boundary there, and it's only going to go for a gain of 3. So 3rd down and 7. Well, they'll bring trips to the near side. Farrell all alone, and they're going to bring a blitz. Tinora picks it up, and Farrell was thinking about taking off and running, fires back across his body. He had a man open, and it is deflected by Garza at the last second. What a tremendous defensive play.
Well, it really was. That time, again, Farrell under duress had to really run for the sideline, and that time just kind of a comeback route. Well, that's a dangerous throw, but it was on the money.
Yep, Lieb was there, but that was just a great defensive play.
Yeah, just well covered. That's textbook play. He was able to break it up there at the last moment. And it's going to be a 3 and out unless the Rams decide to roll the dice. I think this deep in their own territory, even with this score, I think you punt the football away.
If you got an extra 10 or even 20 yards, I think you're going for it. But, again, you also don't want to invite an easy score here. As this one, somewhat of a low-line drive. Nobody's back to return for Fairview, and this one will be easily downed at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, I like that idea that time by Fairview. Let's just make sure he kicks the football. We're not putting anybody back there to receive the punt. If we get the football, the running clock here, boy, we're just a few minutes away now from that showdown at Keyser Field next week against the Paulding Panthers.
And this may be Kalen Kennedy, if I'm not mistaken. I think we're going to start. Nope, Zedek's going to come in. I saw Kalen Kennedy, number 8, checking into the ball game. He is a senior, but he's a wide receiver. And Zedek's going to remain, at least for the time being, at signal callers. We're now under 6 minutes left to go, and this is what I would expect Fairview to do the remainder of the game, just ground and pound, as Drayden Grinnell-Dennis probably is welcoming a few carries here tonight.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a heavy dose of this as this fourth quarter unwinds, and why not? Drayden Grinnell-Dennis averaging, 6.6 yards on the ground this season. Besides Zedek, he's been their leading rusher this season.
2nd down and 4. We'll call it right at midfield. Plenty of time on the snap clock, and it looks like the Apaches are going to try and milk as much of it as possible as we approach the 5:15 mark. This is going to be a design quarterback draw. So he just kind of works his way behind a couple of big black and gold jerseys off the right side. Picks up a good 5 yards.
And once again, just a very patient runner that time, waiting to see where the blocks took him. He's able to move the chains on the ground, so a couple running plays, a 1st down at the Ram 45-yard line as the running clock takes us under the 5-minute mark.
Plenty of time on the snap clock here at 23 seconds and counting, and Fairview really slowing down the tempo now. Do they even know how to do it? Normally it's line up, snap, play. And they've been in overdrive 95% of the time, but now taking a bit more time as this one, just a simple slam off the left side. Give the Big Eaters on that side credit, and that is going to be Steven Mendez, backup running back, picking up some late yardage.
Yeah, the sophomore came in with only 9 rushes this season, but on those 9 rushes, averaging nearly 11 yards per carry, so he's one of those downhill runners. Is able to get a solid 7 yards there on 1st down. Once again, the Apaches in no hurry as they'll snap this football as we're under the 4-minute mark.
Mendez remains in as the lone running back. He's going to get the handoff again. A little bit of, what am I going to say here? Not a mix-up, but the timing just a little bit off. He's still plowed forward, but spot it at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, it's going to bring a 3rd and 2, so nice job here by the Apaches, keeping it on the ground. Just looking to get maybe another first down here with a running clock. That may be nearly all she wrote here in this one.
Muddled was the word I was looking for on the handoff. Mesh point was just a little off. This is just going to be it's not even a true jailbreak screen, but diving forward. In this Fairview offense, that's the equivalent of a short handoff.
It is. You know, it's such a safe play. You know you're going to catch the football. It's just a matter of maybe, okay, do I break one tackle or two? And that time is able to get another first down for the Apaches. And now we're going to see some fresh jerseys coming on the field.
This is like a line change in hockey. Yep, we're going to see the second string offense come in here, Scoop. And a standing ovation by the Apache faithful, not just for the newbies that are coming in, but for the first stringers who have almost, in about another 3 minutes here, punched their ticket to the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, that's an awfully good feeling coming off the field there after a job well done, and the applause they get from this home crowd.
Well, we've got some flags being thrown on this new second unit, as in at quarterback is number 15, Gavin Brown. He's just a freshman at 6'1", $170, and did we have early movement?
Yeah, I think we
had. But legal substitution. I think somebody got on late. Well, actually, we just got a warning. All right, I stand corrected. All right, so it's like it never even happened.
Well, that time the Rams, after getting the stop there on first down, they declined the service master penalty. So that'll bring up a 2nd and 9 here. And again, with the running clock, time for maybe 2 more plays before this one's in the books.
All right, so we got Brown in at quarterback, and I'm checking to see it's not Mendez, it's number 8. That's Kalen Kennedy. Now in at running back. And nope, check it, it's 18, not 8. That's going to be Oakley Schrader.
And that time Schrader's able to bowl his way forward for a yard. It takes it to the 30-yard line, and fresh troops again coming in for the Apaches. Getting a lot of youth into this game here tonight.
And again, barring a penalty, depending on how quick Fairview is to want to snap this football, this should be the final play of the ball.
Yeah, I think no doubt this will be it right here. And credit Fairview. You know, they knew it was never easy to beat a good team twice, and the fact that Tinora knows them so well. Coach Becker does such a great job getting his guys ready. They're so well coached. But Fairview with an excellent game plan tonight. They came out and executed. They will get that rematch.
They'll take a knee.
We see victory formation.
That's a show of class by Coach Rakes.
Oh, no doubt.
Show of class. And the celebration now can officially begin on the Fairview sideline as the final 17 seconds will tick off the clock. The handshake line will form. And for the second time this season, the Apaches will get the better of the Rams, this time by a score of 42-6. And this high-octane offense of Coach Rakes and company will be making plans to make the short bus ride to Paulding next Friday night for the second round of the playoffs.
I tell you what, you might want to drive there tonight and put a blanket where you want to sit, because that place will be rocking and be packed out at Keyser Field a week from tonight, as these two GMC rivals will meet in the rematch, second round of the playoffs.
So with that said, a tip of the cap to Coach Becker and his Rams, but their season comes to an end as they will finish at 5-6. The Apaches up their overall record to 10-1, and they have earned the right to wear their uniform one more week.
Well, they definitely earned it. That's a good way of putting it, Brent. The fact that, again, it's one of these new season. Everybody's undefeated. You got to come in and win it between the lines. And Fairview did that in every phase of the game here tonight at the reservation.
We're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, it will be the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center postgame show. You're watching DCTV Sports.
Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Personalized service and quality products in a friendly and caring atmosphere. Schedule your appointment today. Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center. Stadium Drive in Defiance and online at visionsource-brunswickeye.com. Proudly serving the area with the highest quality contracting services for nearly 100 years. Baker Schindler Company of Defiance and Paulding. 419-782-5080. Online at baker-schindler.com.
When a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag, let ServiceMaster Restore work for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhaul and rebuilding. Contact ServiceMaster by McCann. Sherwood State Bank, your community bank with locations in Sherwood, Defiance, Fayette, and Archbold. Sherwood State Bank, your community bank since 1945. Online at sherwood.bank. When a fire or natural disaster throws a penalty flag, let ServiceMaster Restore work for you. Anything from minor cleanups to complete overhaul and rebuilding. Contact ServiceMaster by McCann.
Estill Chevrolet Cadillac is this area's new and used car headquarters, earning your trust one satisfied customer at a time. Estill Chevrolet Cadillac, North Clinton Street in Defiance, and online at drivebobestill.com. For the past 70 years, Midwest Community Federal Credit Union has been your financial partner, helping you achieve your dreams and secure your future. Midwest Community Federal Credit Union, with locations in Defiance, Bryan, and Napoleon. Find out more at midwestcommunity.org.
Well, the team huddle has broken, and the Apaches, all that adrenaline, starting to maybe wear down just a little bit as Fairview takes care of Tinora this evening in the opening round of the playoffs. The 5 seed knocks off the 12 seed by a final of 42-6. Brent Balbinot alongside Scoop Miller and our crew here on DCTV as we are now underway with the Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. Let's start with our Arthur Law Firm stat tracker, and we think we're pretty accurate on these. But Scoop, just tonight on both sides of the line of scrimmage for Fairview, they finished with 495 total yards this evening, 329 passing coming from quarterback William Zedike. They rushed for enough to keep you honest at 166, but on the flip side, how about this? And when was the last time you saw anything remotely close to this? Tinora entered tonight on average 83 yards rushing per game. They finished with 4. On average, 213 yards passing per game. They finished with 124 total yards of offense. It will be easy to look at the scoreboard and say 42-6 and think, yep, Fairview's high-octane offense did the job this evening, and it did. But, man, you've got to tip your cap to the defense tonight.
Oh, you're exactly right. When you get 55 plays that the Rams did, you net only 124 yards. That's like 2.1 yards per play. That's not going to win you any ball games. So tip your caps to that Apache defense. They were primed and ready. But, again, how about that offense? 495 yards. And you mentioned it, just enough on the ground, keep them honest. They had 22 carries. Those 166 yards you mentioned, that comes out to about 7.5 yards per carry. So you have to respect the running game, but yet you overcommit to it. We saw what the deep ball could do to you as Will Zedike was able to hit multiple receivers tonight. And there you see a look at the overall numbers. But, again, those rushing yards just kind of jump off the page at you. 20 first downs for the Apaches, 8 for the Rams. But, again, that first downs can be misleading. A couple of those Apache drives were just one play touchdown, so you don't get a chance to get any first downs there. But, again, time possession tonight dominated by the Apaches.
Well, and it wasn't just that. It was the big play this evening. Again, up 21-0 at the half. They knew they were going to get the ball to start the third quarter, but you thought if you were Tinora, okay, if you can get a 3-and-out, or if you can just get a stop, period, and get the ball back in your offensive hands, you got a chance to make this a new ball game. Instead, what happens? The third quarter sees a one-play drive by Fairview. It was a 76-yard touchdown reception Just a beautiful strike. Zedike to Brady Williams. It clearly was a busted coverage because there was nobody within 20 yards of Williams, and now all of a sudden you're down 28-0, and you're really playing from behind.
Oh, you're right. And probably the whole halftime talk, we're talking about, gentlemen, we have to cover Logan Olinger. We have to cover him. And then Brody Williams strikes right away there. Boy, that was just a dagger. That was just a dagger. We knew it was going to be tough hill to climb for the Rams in the second half, but that just really kind of put an end to it. And Fairview will move on with an impressive first-round win here against GMC rival Tinora.
Well, there you take a look at the stat tracker from Arthur Law Firm, the side-by-side stats, and really there isn't anything that we can add to those. Those pretty much do speak for themselves. I would say this, out of those 495 total yards, there was also a second one-play drive in the second half for Fairview. 1st and 10 from their own 34, a 66-yard completion to Logan Olinger, but this time it was a simple jailbreak screen. He went against the grain. The first move that he made on the catch, instead of going with the flow of the play, was back into the teeth of that defense, and you saw easily 8, 9, probably even 10 green and white jerseys over pursuing, and he just out-sprinted everybody up the far sideline.
The thing about that play, Brent, when you see that run at the high school level, 90% of the time that's going to be a 3 to 5 yard gain. But that time, that was all Olinger. That time he just cut it against the grain, as you mentioned. And again, that's just that high football IQ. That's how you kind of draw it up. He took advantage of the guys with the over-pursuit angles. He was able to slip a couple tackles, and that really kind of set the tone for the Apaches in the second half, as they really just didn't style here tonight.
Well, Tinora Pride did allow for one score this evening. It was on their third offensive series of the second half. It was a 4-play drive. It was capped off by an 18-yard touchdown reception. Owen Farrell to Owen Reynolds. I got deked from the angle we were up here in the press box. When he came down, he came down behind the safety. I couldn't tell if he had it. He was so nonchalant about it, and then all of a sudden I'm calling incomplete. Next thing I know, he's got the ball, and it's a touchdown. But again, a great play by the young man for the Rams on the score tonight.
Well, you can see there in the camera, going to your right there, we've got a wall to look through. We couldn't see. I had to see the monitor to saw that he actually made that catch. So that was a fantastic catch, one of many tonight by multiple Fairview receivers. And again, boy, it's going to be tough to really find something to harp about. I'm sure Coach Rakes will. And probably the one thing he will kind of harp out is the penalties. We've got to clean that up. You can get away with that in a running clock type of game. You won't have that luxury next week.
That's going to do it for our Brunswick Eye and Contact Lens Center post-game show. With the loss, the Rams end their season at 5-6 overall with the victory. The Apaches are now 10-1, and as we've talked about, they have earned the right to wear the jersey one more week, and it's going to be next Friday night, as you mentioned it, at Keyser Field to take on fellow GMC opponent and this year's regular season champion Paulding, the only loss on Fairview's schedule. If it's even half as good on the field as it looks on paper, get there early.
Yeah, you're going to get there early. Again, Paulding's had really a stellar season this year, their first undefeated season since the 1988 team went 10-0 that did not make the playoffs. So you want to get there early. And again, I really like the Apaches, the way they're playing. It's going to be tough for Paulding to beat a good team twice. But again, talk is talk. It gets done between the lines. You don't want to miss it next Friday night.
So, for Scoop Miller and our entire crew doing more than yeoman's work here this evening, we also want to thank our hosts here, Fairview. Scott Hyland doing a tremendous job making room for us here in somewhat the last minute. Also, a big thank you going out to our underwriters and, of course, you, the fan, for tuning in. Final score this evening, Fairview 42, Tinora 6. You've been watching a presentation of DCTV Sports.